Do not scroll past this. Stop, right where you are, because what I am about to tell you is not something you can afford to miss. Your name came up in heaven today. I want you to read that again and let it settle into you, because I know it sounds like something too large to be true, too significant to be about you, the ordinary person reading these ordinary words on an ordinary day. But it is true, and it is about you, the specific person whose eyes are on these words right now. Today, in the courts of heaven, in the place where the eternal things are decided, your name was spoken, not lost in a list of billions, not mentioned in passing. Spoken with intention, with attention, with a focus that the whole of heaven turned toward. Because when your name is spoken in my presence, all of heaven attends to it. As it is written, I have called you by name, you are mine. Isaiah 43:4. I called your name today, my child, and I am telling you about it now, because you must not miss what it means. I know what you have believed about yourself. I know the smallness you have carried, the sense that you are overlooked, unnoticed, that you move through the world without leaving a mark, that if you vanished tomorrow, the great machinery of the universe would grind on without registering your absence. I know that you have felt, in your lowest moments, as though you were invisible, as though no one was paying attention to your life, as though your existence was a small and unremarkable thing happening in a forgotten corner of a vast and indifferent world. And I have come to you today to shatter that belief completely, because it is not true, it has never been true, and the proof is that your name, your specific name, came up in heaven today, in the one place where nothing is unimportant and no one is overlooked. As it is written, are not two sparrows sold for a penny, and not one of them will fall to the ground apart from your Father. Matthew 10:29. If I attend to the falling of a sparrow, my child, how much more do I attend to you, whose name was spoken in heaven this very day? You must not miss this, my child. That is why I have interrupted your day, reached through the noise and the routine and the ordinary flow of your hours to tell you what happened in heaven concerning you. Because if you miss it, if you let this pass as just another message, just another collection of comforting words that you receive and then forget, you will go on believing the lie that you are invisible, that no one is watching, that your life is unremarked and unremarkable. But if you receive it, if you let the truth of it reach the deep places where the smallness has lived, it will change the way you see yourself, the way you carry yourself, the way you move through every day that follows. Your name came up in heaven today. Do not miss what that means. As it is written, you are precious in my eyes, and honored, and I love you. Isaiah 43:4. Precious, my child, honored, spoken of in heaven. Do not miss it. Before we go any further, my child, I want you to do something to mark that you are receiving this and not missing it. I want you to type in the comments the words, my name was spoken in heaven. Not because saying it makes it true, for it was already true before you said it, but because declaring it begins to break the lie of your invisibility, begins to let the truth of your significance reach the places where you have believed you were overlooked. Type it now. My name was spoken in heaven. And as you type it, let it be the first crack in the wall of smallness you have lived behind, the first light into the belief that you are invisible, the beginning of seeing yourself the way heaven sees you. My name was spoken in heaven. Say it, and let us begin. My child, I want to tell you what it means that your name came up in heaven, because I do not want you to imagine it as a vague, abstract honor with no real substance. When your name is spoken in heaven, it is not a ceremonial mention with no consequence. It is the beginning of something, the setting in motion of things in your life, the turning of heaven's attention toward you in a way that produces real effects in the world you live in. Heaven is not a passive place where things are merely noted. It is the place from which the eternal purposes flow into the temporal world, the place where what is decided becomes what happens, the source of the movements that shape your life. And when your name comes up there, it means that something concerning you has been set in motion, that the attention of heaven has turned toward your situation, that the purposes I have for you are moving from the eternal realm into your actual days. As it is written, your kingdom come, your will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Matthew 6:10. What happens in heaven concerning you, my child, comes to pass on earth, and your name coming up in heaven today means that something is about to come to pass in your life. I want you to understand the weight of this. You have prayed perhaps for so long that you stopped believing your prayers reached anywhere, stopped believing that anyone in heaven was listening, stopped believing that your situation had any audience beyond the empty air you spoke into. But your prayers reached heaven, my child, every one of them, and they have been gathered, and they have been heard, and today, in response to all of them, your name came up. As it is written, the prayers of the saints rose before God. Revelation 8:4. Your prayers rose, my child. They reached the courts of heaven. They were not lost in the empty air. And today, your name came up in the place where your prayers have been rising all along, which means that the answer to those prayers is being set in motion. You are not praying into a void. You are praying into heaven, where your name is known, and your prayers are heard, and your situation is attended to with a care you cannot imagine. And here is what I most want you to grasp, my child. The fact that your name came up in heaven today is not a reward for your worthiness, not a recognition that you finally did enough to earn heaven's attention. It is the expression of a love that has been attending to you all along. A love that does not wait for you to be impressive before it notices you. A love that has known your name and cherished your name and spoken your name since before you were born. As it is written, before I formed you in the womb I knew you. Jeremiah 1:5. I knew your name before you had a name, my child. I have been speaking it, cherishing it, attending to it your whole life. And today it came up again in heaven, not because you earned it, but because you have always been loved by the one in whose presence it was spoken. Type in the comments right now, heaven is attending to my life. As the declaration of a soul that receives the truth that its name coming up in heaven means real things are being set in motion, that its prayers reached heaven and the answer is moving. Heaven is attending to my life. My child, I want to address the disbelief that I know is rising in you. The part of you that hears all this and thinks, surely not me, surely my name is not the one that came up in heaven, surely this is meant for someone more important, more faithful, more worthy than I am. I want to speak to that disbelief directly, because it is rooted in a misunderstanding of how heaven sees, and I want to correct it tonight. You believe, perhaps, that the names spoken in heaven belong to the great ones, the famous ones, the ones who did remarkable things, the spiritual giants whose lives were worthy of heaven's attention. And you place yourself far down the list, far below the threshold of significance, certain that your small and ordinary life could never be the subject of heaven's notice. But you have misunderstood how heaven sees, my child, because heaven does not measure significance the way the world does. The world notices the loud, the large, the impressive. Heaven notices the heart. The world overlooks the quiet faithfulness of an ordinary life. Heaven treasures it. The world would never have spoken your name, because the world does not see what you have done in secret, the faithfulness no one witnessed, the love you gave without recognition, the times you chose what was right when no one was watching. But heaven saw all of it, and heaven treasures all of it, and heaven speaks the names that the world overlooks. As it is written, the Lord sees not as man sees. Man looks on the outward appearance, but the Lord looks on the heart. 1 Samuel 16:7. So do not disqualify yourself, my child, from the truth that your name came up in heaven. You disqualify yourself based on the world's measures, but heaven does not use the world's measures. Heaven looks at your heart, at your hidden faithfulness, at the quiet, unremarkable, unwitnessed goodness of a life the world overlooked, and heaven finds it worthy of attention, worthy of notice, worthy of having its name spoken in the courts of the eternal. The very ordinariness you think disqualifies you is exactly the kind of life heaven most delights to honor, because heaven loves to lift up the lowly, to notice the overlooked, to speak the names that the world never bothered to learn. As it is written, he has brought down the mighty from their thrones and exalted those of humble estate. Luke 1 verse 52. You, my child, of humble estate, overlooked by the world, are exactly the kind of one whose name heaven delights to speak. Do not disqualify yourself. Heaven already qualified you, today, when it spoke your name. Type in the comments right now, heaven sees my heart, not my status. As the declaration of a soul that refuses to disqualify itself by the world's measures, receiving the truth that heaven notices the hidden faithfulness the world overlooks. Heaven sees my heart, not my status. My child, let me give your heart a moment of rest now, because I have been speaking powerful things, and your soul needs simply to receive them. I know that to hear that your name came up in heaven, after so long believing you were invisible, may be almost overwhelming, may stir up a mix of hope and disbelief, and a longing so deep it aches. And I want to speak gently to you now, to let the truth settle softly into the tender places. You have felt unseen for so long, my child. You have moved through your days, carrying the quiet ache of feeling that no one was truly paying attention, that your joys went uncelebrated, and your sorrows went unwitnessed, and your whole inner life unfolded in a solitude that no one entered. And to that ache, I speak the truth of this day. You were seen, you are seen, you have been seen all along, by the one whose seeing matters most, and today your name came up in heaven as the proof of a seeing that never once looked away. As it is written, you are the God who sees me. Genesis 16:13. Rest in being seen, my child. Let the long ache of feeling invisible be soothed by the truth that you were never invisible, that the eyes of heaven have been on you through every season, that the one who made you has watched your whole life with a tender, unwavering attention. You do not have to do anything in this moment to be seen, because you are already seen, fully, completely, by the one whose seeing is love. As it is written, the eyes of the Lord are on the righteous, and his ears are attentive to their cry. Psalm 34:15. His eyes are on you, my child. His ears are attentive to your cry. And today, the seeing that has been on you all along expressed itself in the speaking of your name in heaven. Rest in that. Let the ache of invisibility be healed by the truth that you have been seen, treasured, and named all along. Let yourself stay in that rest for a moment, my child, simply receiving the truth that you are seen and known and named in heaven. You have carried the weight of feeling invisible for so long that it will take a moment for the truth of your visibility to reach all the way down. So let it. Let the truth that your name came up in heaven reach the deepest places where the invisibility has lived, and let it begin to heal them, to soothe them, to replace the ache of being unseen with the comfort of being known. Rest there, my child. You are seen, you are named, and heaven spoke of you today. Type in the comments right now, I have been seen all along, as the declaration of a soul that receives the healing truth that it was never invisible, that the eyes of heaven have been on it through every season, expressed today in the speaking of its name. I have been seen all along. My child, let me tell you about a man whose name came up in heaven, because his story will help you believe in your own. He was an ordinary man, living an ordinary life, faithful in quiet ways that no one celebrated, when one day, unknown to him, his name came up in the courts of heaven, spoken by me with delight, held up as an example of a faithful heart. As it is written, have you considered my servant Job, that there is none like him on the earth, a blameless and upright man? Job 1:8. He had no idea, as he went about his ordinary day, that his name was being spoken in heaven, that the eternal courts were attending to his life, that he was the subject of heaven's notice, and yet he was. His ordinary, faithful, unremarkable to the world life had come up in heaven, because heaven treasures exactly the kind of quiet faithfulness the world overlooks. You are like that man, my child, going about your ordinary days, unaware that your name has come up in heaven, unaware that the eternal courts are attending to your life, unaware that you are the subject of heaven's notice, but you are. Today your name came up, spoken with the same delight, held up with the same attention, treasured in the same way, and just as that man's life was about to become the stage on which heaven's purposes unfolded, so your life is about to become the place where what was spoken in heaven comes to pass. As it is written, the Lord will fulfill his purpose for me. Psalm 138:8. The purpose spoken in heaven concerning you, my child, will be fulfilled in your life, just as it was for that faithful man whose name came up in heaven while he went about his ordinary day. And there were others, my child, whose names came up in heaven in their ordinary moments. There was a woman, overlooked and barren, whose silent prayers came up before me, and I remembered her by name and answered. There was a man hiding in fear, whose name I spoke and called a mighty warrior. There was a shepherd boy, the least of his brothers, whose name came up in heaven and who was chosen to be king. Again and again, my child, the names that came up in heaven were not the names the world celebrated, but the names of ordinary, overlooked, humble people whom heaven delighted to lift up. As it is written, God chose what is low and despised in the world to bring to nothing things that are. 1 Corinthians 1:28. You are among them, my child, the overlooked ones whose names heaven speaks, the humble ones heaven delights to lift, the ordinary ones whose lives become the stage of heaven's purposes. Your name came up today, joining the long line of overlooked names that heaven has delighted to honor. Type in the comments right now, my ordinary life came up in heaven, as the declaration of a soul that recognizes it joins the long line of ordinary, overlooked people whose names heaven delighted to speak and lift. My ordinary life came up in heaven. My child, I want to address the fear that even if your name came up in heaven, the mention of it might have been about your failures rather than your worth. That heaven might have spoken your name in judgment rather than in love, recounting your sins, your shortcomings, your many ways of falling short. I know this fear lives in you because you are more aware of your failures than of your worth. And when you imagine heaven speaking your name, you imagine it in the context of all the ways you have not measured up. So let me tell you the truth about how your name was spoken. Your name was not spoken in accusation, my child. There is one who accuses, who would love to speak your name in heaven only to recount your failures, who stands ready to bring up every way you have fallen short. But his voice does not have the final word, because there is another who speaks for you, who answers every accusation, who covers your failures and speaks your name in love. As it is written, the accuser of our brothers has been thrown down, who accuses them day and night before our God. Revelation 12:10. The accuser has been thrown down, my child. His voice does not prevail. And when your name came up in heaven today, it was not the accuser's recounting of your failures that prevailed, but the voice of the one who speaks for you, who covers you, who declares you loved despite everything the accuser would say. As it is written, who is to condemn? Christ Jesus is the one who died, who is at the right hand of God, who indeed is interceding for us. Romans 8:34. So do not fear that your name was spoken in judgment, my child. It was spoken in love, covered by grace, declared worthy not because of your perfect record, but because of the love that covers your imperfect one. The failures you are so aware of did not have the final word when your name came up in heaven, because grace had the final word. Love had the final word. The one who intercedes for you had the final word. As it is written, there is therefore now no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus. Romans 8:1. No condemnation, my child. When your name came up in heaven today, it came up under grace, spoken in love, covered by the one who answers every accusation. Receive that, and let the fear that heaven holds your failures against you fall away. Type in the comments right now, my name was spoken in love, not judgment. As the declaration of a soul that releases the fear that heaven recounts its failures, receiving the truth that grace had the final word when its name came up. My name was spoken in love, not judgment. My child, I want you to understand something about your name that will change the way you carry it. To you, your name may seem ordinary, a label given to you by others, a word you have heard so many times it has lost its meaning. But to me, your name is precious, written in places that endure forever, held with a tenderness you cannot imagine. Your name is not just a word, my child. It is the marker of a soul I made, a life I treasure, a person I love, and I have written it where it can never be erased. As it is written, see, I have engraved you on the palms of my hands. Isaiah 49 verse 16. Your name is engraved on my hands, my child, carved into the very place where it cannot be forgotten, held before me always. That is how precious your name is to me, the name that came up in heaven today. And your name is written in a place even more enduring, my child, a place that guarantees your eternal belonging, a place that no power can erase. As it is written, rejoice that your names are written in heaven. Luke 10:20. Your name is written in heaven, my child, not just spoken there today, but written there forever, inscribed in the book of those who belong to me, secured in a place that nothing can touch. The name that came up in heaven today is the same name that is written there permanently, the marker of an eternal belonging that the long seasons of feeling invisible could never threaten. You belong, my child. Your name is written. And today it came up, spoken aloud, in the place where it has been written all along. I want you to feel the security of this, my child. In a world where you have felt overlooked, forgotten, easily replaceable, your name is written in heaven, permanent, treasured, secure. You are not a forgettable face in an indifferent crowd. You are a named soul, written in heaven, engraved on my hands, spoken in the eternal courts. And that security does not depend on your circumstances, your achievements, or anyone's recognition of you. It rests on me, on my love, on the permanence of a name written where nothing can erase it. As it is written, the Lord knows those who are his. 2 Timothy 2:19. I know you, my child, by name, written in heaven, engraved on my hands. secure forever in a belonging that today's speaking of your name only confirmed. Type in the comments right now, "My name is written in heaven forever," as the declaration of a soul that receives the security of its name being not just spoken, but permanently written in heaven, engraved where nothing can erase it. My name is written in heaven forever. My child, if you are still here with me, still reading, still receiving this astonishing truth about your name, I want you to notice that the fact you have stayed means something. A soul fully convinced of its own invisibility would have turned away from a message like this, would have dismissed it as too good to be about them, would have refused to believe that their name could ever come up in heaven. But you have stayed. You have let the truth reach you. You have allowed the possibility that you are seen, named, and treasured to begin to take root, and that staying is itself the beginning of believing, the first response of a soul that is starting to see itself the way heaven sees it. As it is written, "Draw near to God, and he will draw near to you." James 4:8. You are drawing near, my child, simply by staying, and I am drawing near to you in return, confirming with every word the truth that your name came up in heaven today. So stay to the end, my child, and let the full truth reach you, because what I have to tell you next, what was actually said when your name came up, is the part you most need to hear, the part that will change everything about how you live the days ahead. Do not miss it. Do not turn away before you hear what heaven declared over you. As it is written, "Blessed are those who hear the word of God and keep it." Luke 11:28. Hear it and keep it, my child. Stay to hear what was said over your name, and let it take root in you, and let it change everything. Type in the comments right now, "I will not miss what heaven said," as the declaration of a soul that stays to receive the full truth of what was declared over its name, refusing to turn away before it hears what heaven spoke. I will not miss what heaven said. My child, I want to address one more thing before I tell you what was said, because I know there is a part of you wondering why, if your name came up in heaven today, you cannot feel it, cannot see any evidence of it, why your day looks exactly the same as it did before. And I want to answer that, because the answer matters for everything that follows. The most important things, my child, almost always happen first in the unseen realm before they appear in the seen. Your name coming up in heaven is an event in the unseen realm, the realm where the eternal purposes are set in motion before they unfold in the visible world. You cannot feel it or see it yet, because it has happened in heaven, and the effects of it are only beginning to move from heaven into your earthly life. But the fact that you cannot yet see it does not make it less real. It makes it earlier, the cause that precedes the effect, the heavenly event that precedes the earthly result. As it is written, the things that are seen are transient, but the things that are unseen are eternal. 2 Corinthians 4:18. The unseen event of your name coming up in heaven, my child, is more real and more lasting than anything you can currently see, and its effects are about to move into the seen realm of your actual days. So do not doubt that your name came up in heaven simply because your day looks unchanged, my child. The day looks unchanged because the heavenly event has not yet fully appeared in the earthly realm, but it will, surely in its time, as all heavenly things eventually appear on earth. As it is written, "For nothing is hidden that will not be made manifest." Luke 8:17. What was spoken in heaven concerning your name will be made manifest, my child, will appear, will show itself in your earthly life, in its time. The unseen always becomes seen, the heavenly always touches the earthly. The word spoken in the eternal courts always comes to pass in the temporal world. Your name came up in heaven today, and though you cannot see it yet, you will. Trust the unseen reality and watch for its appearing. Type in the comments right now, "The unseen will become seen," as the declaration of a soul that trusts the reality of its name coming up in heaven, even though it cannot yet see the evidence, knowing the unseen heavenly event will surely appear in its earthly life. The unseen will become seen. My child, let me say one more thing about the significance of your name coming up in heaven, because I want you to grasp how it changes your standing in the unseen realm. When your name is spoken in heaven, all of heaven becomes aware of you, attentive to you, engaged with your life. The angels who do my bidding, who are sent to serve those who belong to me, become attentive to your situation when your name comes up in the courts they serve. As it is written, "Are they not all ministering spirits, sent out to serve for the sake of those who are to inherit salvation?" Hebrews 1:14. There are ministering spirits, my child, sent to serve for your sake, and when your name came up in heaven today, Their attention turned toward you. Their service was directed toward your life. The unseen help of heaven was assigned to your situation. You are not facing your life with no help from the unseen realm. Heaven is engaged on your behalf, its servants attentive to you, because your name came up in the courts they serve. This means, my child, that there is more happening on your behalf than you can see. Behind the visible surface of your ordinary days, in the unseen realm, heaven is at work for you. Its servants engaged, its purposes moving, all set in motion by the speaking of your name. As it is written, the angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear him and delivers them. Psalm 34:7. There is an encampment around you, my child, an unseen protection, an unseen help, an unseen working on your behalf, all the more active now that your name has come up in heaven. You are not alone, and you are not unhelped. Heaven is engaged for you, working in the unseen, moving on your behalf, because your name was spoken in its courts today. Receive that, my child. Let it change the way you face your days. You are not facing your situation with only your own resources, alone against the difficulty. You are facing it with heaven engaged on your behalf, its unseen servants attentive to you, its purposes moving for you, all because your name came up in heaven today. As it is written, if God is for us, who can be against us? Romans 8:31. God is for you, my child, and heaven is engaged for you, and the unseen realm is working for you, set in motion by the speaking of your name. Face your days then, not as one alone, but as one for whom heaven is at work. Type in the comments right now, heaven is engaged on my behalf. As the declaration of a soul that receives the truth that the speaking of its name set heaven's unseen servants and purposes to work on its behalf, so it no longer faces its days alone. Heaven is engaged on my behalf. Stay with me, my child, into the next part of tonight, where I will tell you what was said when your name came up, what it means for your life, and why you must not miss it. Your name came up in heaven today, my child, and what was said concerning it is about to change everything. Stay with me, and let me tell you what heaven declared over you. My child, I promised that I would tell you what was said when your name came up in heaven, and now we have come to that moment, the moment you have been waiting for, the moment that will change everything about how you live the days ahead. So lean in, my child, and receive what heaven declared over your name, because these are not small words, and you must not miss a single one of them. As it is written, he will rejoice over you with gladness. He will quiet you by his love. He will exult over you with loud singing. Zephaniah 3:17. When your name came up, my child, heaven did not speak of you with indifference or with reluctant acknowledgement. Heaven rejoiced. There was gladness in the speaking of your name, exultation, even singing, because the one who made you delights in you. And when your name comes up in heaven, that delight is expressed. The first thing that was said over your name, my child, was that you are mine. Before anything else, before any declaration about your future or your purpose, the foundational word was spoken. This one is mine. You belong to me. You are not an orphan in the universe, not a stray soul wandering without a home, not a forgotten castaway with no one to claim you. You are mine, claimed, owned, belonging to the God who made you, and that belonging is the foundation of everything else. As it is written, fear not, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by name. You are mine. Isaiah 43 verse 1. You are mine, my child. That is what was said first over your name. And in a world where you have felt that you belonged to no one, that no one would claim you, that you were on your own, this is the word that changes everything. You are mine. I want you to feel the weight of this belonging, my child. To belong to me is not a small thing. It means you are under my protection, my provision, my care. It means you are never abandoned, never truly alone, never without a defender. It means that what concerns you concerns me, that your battles are my battles, that your needs are my responsibility, that your life is held in the hands of the one who owns it. As it is written, but now thus says the Lord, he who created you, he who formed you, fear not, for I have redeemed you. Isaiah 43 verse 1. You belong to the one who created you and redeemed you, my child, and that belonging means you are held, protected, provided for, and never alone. This is the first word that was spoken over your name in heaven. You are mine. Receive it, and let it be the foundation of all the rest. Type in the comments right now, I belong to God. As the declaration of a soul that receives the first word spoken over its name in heaven, the foundational truth that it belongs to the God who made it, claimed and owned and never alone. I belong to God. The second thing that was said over your name, my child, was that you are loved, not tolerated, not merely accepted, not grudgingly permitted to exist, but loved, deeply, completely, with a love that has no condition and no end. When your name came up in heaven, the love that I have for you was declared, the love that has been constant through every season of your life, the love that did not waver when you failed, did not diminish when you doubted, did not fade through all the long years. As it is written, I have loved you with an everlasting love. Therefore I have continued my faithfulness to you. Jeremiah 31 verse 3. You are loved with an everlasting love, my child. And when your name came up in heaven, that love was spoken over you, declared again, affirmed in the courts of the eternal. I know that you have doubted whether you are loved, my child. You have looked at your life, at your failures, at the ways you have fallen short, and you have wondered whether you are truly loved or merely tolerated, whether the love is real or just a comforting idea. So hear the truth that was spoken over your name in heaven. You are loved, really, fully, with a love that is not based on your performance, but on my nature, not earned by your goodness, but flowing from my heart. As it is written, in this is love, not that we have loved God, but that He loved us. 1 John 4:10. The love is mine, my child, flowing from me toward you, not dependent on your loving me well or living perfectly, but constant, unconditional, everlasting. This is the second word spoken over your name. You are loved. Let it reach the places where you have doubted it. And this love, my child, is not a distant, abstract love, but a personal, particular love. A love for you specifically, for the exact person you are, with all your particular qualities and quirks and history and heart. I do not love you as part of a faceless mass of humanity. I love you, you specifically, the individual soul whose name came up in heaven today, known and loved in your particularity, treasured for exactly who you are. As it is written, the very hairs of your head are all numbered. Matthew 10:30. I know you that intimately, my child, down to the number of the hairs on your head, and I love you that personally, that particularly, that specifically. The love spoken over your name in heaven was not generic but personal, for you, exactly as you are. Receive it. Type in the comments right now, I am loved, personally and completely, as the declaration of a soul that receives the second word spoken over its name in heaven, the truth that it is loved not generically but personally, with an everlasting, unconditional love. I am loved, personally and completely. The third thing that was said over your name, my child, was that you have a purpose, that your life is not random or meaningless, but holds a calling, a destiny, a reason for being that I placed in you before you were born. When your name came up in heaven, your purpose was affirmed, the reason I made you declared again, the calling on your life confirmed in the eternal courts. You are not here by accident, my child. You were made for a reason, called to a purpose, given a destiny that only you can fulfill. As it is written, for we are His workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand, that we should walk in them. Ephesians 2:10. You were created for good works, my child, prepared beforehand, a purpose waiting for you to walk in it, and when your name came up in heaven, that purpose was affirmed over you. I know that you have wondered whether your life has any purpose, my child, whether there is any reason for your existence beyond the mere passing of days, whether you matter in any larger sense. The long seasons of feeling invisible made you doubt that your life held any significance, any calling, any reason. But the truth spoken over your name in heaven is that you do have a purpose, a specific calling, a destiny that I prepared for you, and that the world needs you to fulfill. As it is written, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope. Jeremiah 29:11. I have plans for you, my child, a future and a hope, a purpose that is good. And when your name came up in heaven, those plans were affirmed, that purpose declared, that calling confirmed. Your life is not meaningless. It holds a purpose that heaven itself affirmed over your name. And your purpose, my child, is not something you have to manufacture or invent or strive to create. It is something I placed in you, something I prepared for you, something that will unfold as you walk with me, step by step, into the calling I have for you. You do not have to figure it all out at once. You only have to trust that the purpose is real, that it was affirmed over your name in heaven, and that I will lead you into it as you walk with me. As it is written, the Lord will fulfill his purpose for me. Psalm 138:8. I will fulfill my purpose for you, my child, the purpose affirmed over your name, unfolding it in your life as you walk with me. This is the third word spoken over your name. You have a purpose. Receive it and trust me to lead you into it. Type in the comments right now, my life has a purpose, heaven affirmed. As the declaration of a soul that receives the third word spoken over its name in heaven, the truth that its life holds a real purpose and calling that God prepared and affirmed. My life has a purpose, heaven affirmed. My child, let me give your heart a moment of rest now, because I have been declaring powerful words over you, and your soul needs simply to receive them. I want you to know that these words spoken over your name, that you are mine, that you are loved, that you have a purpose, are not merely encouraging ideas. They are the deepest truths about who you are, truer than your circumstances, truer than your feelings, truer than the lies the long seasons told you about yourself. And they were spoken over your name in heaven, not because you achieved them, but because they have always been true about you, the bedrock realities of your identity that no season of difficulty could ever change. As it is written, the gifts and the calling of God are irrevocable. Romans 11:29. These truths are irrevocable, my child, unchangeable, permanent, spoken over your name in heaven, because they are the eternal realities of who you are. Rest in these truths now, my child, apart from any striving, apart from any need to earn them or prove them or make them true. They are already true. They were spoken over your name in heaven today, and all you have to do is receive them. Let them settle into you. Let them become the foundation on which you stand. You are mine. You are loved. You have a purpose. 3 truths spoken over your name in heaven that change everything about who you are and how you live. As it is written, see what kind of love the Father has given to us, that we should be called children of God, and so we are. 1 John 3:1. And so you are, my child, mine, loved, purposed. A child of God whose name came up in heaven today, where these truths were declared over you. Rest in them. They are yours. Let yourself stay in that rest for a moment, my child, simply receiving the 3 great truths spoken over your name. You have lived so long under the lies of invisibility and worthlessness and meaninglessness that it will take a moment for these opposite truths to reach all the way down. So let them. Let the truth that you are mine reach the place where you felt you belonged to no one. Let the truth that you are loved reach the place where you doubted you were loved. Let the truth that you have a purpose reach the place where you feared your life was meaningless. And let these heaven-spoken truths begin to replace the lies, settling into the foundation of your soul, becoming the ground on which you stand. Rest there, my child. These truths are yours, spoken over your name in heaven, true forever. Type in the comments right now, these truths are mine forever. As the declaration of a soul that receives and rests in the 3 great truths spoken over its name in heaven, letting them replace the lies of the long seasons. These truths are mine forever. The 4th thing that was said over your name, my child, was that you are not forgotten in your waiting. Heaven knows how long you have waited, how many prayers you have prayed, how many times you wondered whether anyone was listening. And when your name came up, it was declared that your waiting has been seen, your prayers have been counted, your faithfulness through the long seasons has been remembered. As it is written, you have kept count of my tossings, put my tears in your bottle. Are they not in your book? Psalm 56:8. Your tears are kept in heaven, my child, recorded in the book, counted and treasured. And when your name came up, your long waiting was remembered, not overlooked, not forgotten, but held with tender attention. You have not been waiting unnoticed. Heaven has kept count of every tear. I know that the waiting has made you feel forgotten, my child, as though your prayers disappeared and your patience went unrewarded and no one remembered that you were still holding on. But the truth spoken over your name in heaven is that none of it was forgotten. Every prayer was counted. Every tear was kept. Every faithful day of holding on, when holding on was hard, was remembered and treasured. As it is written, God is not unjust so as to overlook your work and the love that you have shown for his name. Hebrews 6:10. I have not overlooked your work, my child, your love, your faithfulness through the long waiting. It was all remembered when your name came up in heaven, all counted, all treasured. You were never forgotten in your waiting. Receive that. Type in the comments right now, my waiting was not forgotten. As the declaration of a soul that receives the truth that its long waiting was seen and counted in heaven, Every prayer and tear remembered when its name came up. My waiting was not forgotten. The fifth thing that was said over your name, my child, was that your season is changing. When your name came up in heaven, it was not only to affirm who you are, but to declare what is coming, that the long season you have been in is shifting, that a new chapter is beginning, that the things you have prayed for are moving toward you. As it is written, "Behold, the former things have come to pass, and new things I now declare. Before they spring forth, I tell you of them." Isaiah 42 verse 9. New things are being declared over your life, my child, and the speaking of your name in heaven was the announcement of a changing season, the declaration that the new things are about to spring forth. Your name came up in heaven at the turning of your season, marking the shift from the old to the new. This is why you must not miss what is happening, my child. Your name coming up in heaven is not only a comfort about who you are, it is an announcement about what is coming, a sign that your season is turning, that the long wait is ending, that the new things are about to appear. As it is written, "See, I am doing a new thing, now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it?" Isaiah 43:19. Do you perceive it, my child? The new thing is springing forth, announced by the speaking of your name in heaven, the turning of your season, the beginning of the new chapter. Do not miss it. Watch for it. The new things are coming, declared over your name in the courts of heaven today. Type in the comments right now, "My season is changing now," as the declaration of a soul that receives the truth that the speaking of its name in heaven announced a turning season, the end of the long wait, and the beginning of new things. My season is changing now. The sixth thing that was said over your name, my child, was that you are being defended. There are forces that have set themselves against you, accusations spoken against you, schemes arranged to harm you. And when your name came up in heaven, your defense was declared, the assurance that I stand between you and all that would destroy you. As it is written, "No weapon that is fashioned against you shall succeed, and you shall refute every tongue that rises against you in judgment." Isaiah 54:17. The weapons fashioned against you will not succeed, my child, because you are defended, and when your name came up in heaven, that defense was declared over you. You do not face your enemies alone. Heaven defends you, and the speaking of your name today reaffirmed it. I know that you have felt vulnerable, my child, exposed, as though anyone could harm you, and no one would defend you, as though you had to protect yourself alone against everything that came against you. But the truth spoken over your name in heaven is that you are defended, that I am your shield, that I stand between you and all that would destroy you. As it is written, "But you, O Lord, are a shield about me, my glory, and the lifter of my head." Psalm 3:3. I am a shield about you, my child, your defender, the one who stands between you and the weapons fashioned against you. And when your name came up in heaven, this defense was declared over you again. You are not unprotected. You are defended by heaven itself. Type in the comments right now, "I am defended by heaven," as the declaration of a soul that receives the truth that its defense was declared when its name came up in heaven, that God stands as its shield against all that would harm it. I am defended by heaven. The seventh thing that was said over your name, my child, was that you are being prepared for something greater. The difficulties you have walked through, the long seasons of waiting and struggle, were not meaningless suffering, but preparation, the shaping of a soul for something greater that is coming. And when your name came up in heaven, this preparation was affirmed, the assurance that everything you have endured has been making you ready for what I have for you. As it is written, "For this light momentary affliction is preparing for us an eternal weight of glory beyond all comparison." 2 Corinthians 4:17. Your afflictions have been preparing something, my child, an eternal weight of glory, and when your name came up in heaven, the purpose of your preparation was affirmed. Nothing you endured was wasted. It was all preparing you for something greater. I know that you have wondered whether your suffering had any meaning, my child, whether the hard seasons were simply pointless pain, or whether they were leading somewhere. And the truth spoken over your name in heaven is that they were leading somewhere, that they were preparation, that the very difficulties that felt meaningless were shaping you for the greater thing that is coming. As it is written, "And we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good, for those who are called according to his purpose." Romans 8:28. All things have been working together for your good, my child. Even the afflictions, even the hard seasons, all of it preparation for the greater thing affirmed over your name in heaven. Your suffering was not wasted, it was making you ready. Type in the comments right now, I am being prepared for something greater. As the declaration of a soul that receives the truth that its difficulties were preparation, affirmed when its name came up in heaven, shaping it for the greater thing to come. I am being prepared for something greater. My child, I want to address a question that may be forming in you as I declare all these things spoken over your name. If heaven said all this about me, why does my life still feel so hard, so ordinary, so unchanged? It is a fair question, my child, and I want to answer it, because I do not want you to mistake the present hardness of your life for the absence of the things spoken over your name. The things spoken over your name in heaven are true now, my child, even though your life has not yet caught up to them. They are the deeper reality, the eternal truth, that is in the process of working its way into your visible circumstances. Just as a royal child may be born into their inheritance long before they are old enough to receive it, so you have been declared mine, and loved, and purposed, and defended, and being prepared, even though the full experience of these things is still unfolding in your life. As it is written, beloved, we are God's children now, and what we will be has not yet appeared. 1 John 3:2. You are God's child now, my child, with all that was spoken over your name now true, even though what you will be has not yet fully appeared. The truth is present even when the full experience is still coming. So do not be discouraged that your life still feels hard, my child, as though the hardness disproves the things spoken over your name. The hardness is the not yet fully appeared, the gap between the eternal truth that is already real and the visible experience that is still catching up. But the gap is closing. The truth is working its way into your circumstances. The things spoken over your name are moving from the eternal realm into your actual days. As it is written, for now we see in a mirror dimly, but then face to face. 1 Corinthians 13:12. You see dimly now, my child, the full appearing still coming, but the things spoken over your name are true now and are working their way toward full appearing. Trust the truth even before you see it fully. Your name came up in heaven, and what was said is true, and it is coming to pass. Type in the comments right now, the truth is real even before I see it. As the declaration of a soul that trusts the things spoken over its name in heaven are already true, even though its life has not yet fully caught up to them. The truth is real even before I see it. My child, I want to tell you about the joy in heaven when your name came up, because I do not want you to imagine the speaking of your name as a solemn formal event. There was joy, my child, gladness, celebration, because heaven rejoices over you in a way you have never let yourself believe. As it is written, there is joy before the angels of God over one sinner who repents. Luke 15:10. There is joy in heaven over you, my child. Joy when you turn toward me. Joy when your name comes up. Joy that the world has never shown you, but that heaven feels every time it considers you. You have lived as though your existence brought no joy to anyone, as though you were a burden rather than a delight. But in heaven, my child, you are a delight, and when your name came up today, there was joy. I want you to picture it, my child, the joy in heaven over your name, the gladness of the one who made you, the celebration of a soul that is treasured beyond your understanding. As it is written, the Lord your God is in your midst, a mighty one who will save. He will rejoice over you with gladness. Zephaniah 3:17. I rejoice over you with gladness, my child. When your name comes up in heaven, I do not respond with indifference, but with joy, with gladness, with the delight of a father over a beloved child. You bring me joy, my child, simply by being who you are, simply by being mine. And when your name came up in heaven today, that joy was expressed, the gladness of heaven over a treasured soul. Let that truth heal something in you, my child. You have believed that your existence was unremarkable, that you brought no particular joy to anyone, that the world would feel no loss if you were gone. But heaven feels joy over you, my child, real joy, the gladness of the one who made you and treasures you and rejoices over your name. As it is written, for the Lord takes pleasure in his people. Psalm 149 verse 4. I take pleasure in you, my child, real pleasure, genuine delight, and when your name came up in heaven, that pleasure was expressed in joy. You are not a burden. You are a delight to heaven, treasured, rejoiced over, a source of joy to the God who made you. Type in the comments right now, heaven rejoices over me, as the declaration of a soul that receives the truth that there was joy in heaven when its name came up, that it is a delight to the God who made it. Heaven rejoices over me. My child, if you are still here, still receiving all that was spoken over your name. I want you to recognize that you are being changed simply by receiving these truths. A soul that truly hears that it is mine, loved, purposed, defended, prepared, rejoiced over, and not forgotten, cannot remain the same. These truths, received, transform the one who receives them, replacing the old lies of invisibility and worthlessness with the heaven-spoken realities of belonging and love and purpose. As it is written, and we all, with unveiled face, beholding the glory of the Lord, are being transformed into the same image from one degree of glory to another. 2 Corinthians 3:18. You are being transformed, my child, as you behold these truths spoken over your name, changed from one degree of glory to another, becoming the one heaven declared you to be. So receive them fully, my child. Do not let these truths pass over you like water over stone, leaving you unchanged. Let them sink in, take root, transform you, until you begin to live as the one whose name came up in heaven, who is mine and loved and purposed and defended and prepared and rejoiced over. As it is written, be transformed by the renewal of your mind. Romans 12:2. Let your mind be renewed by these heaven-spoken truths, my child, transformed by them until they become not just words you heard, but the foundation of who you are. The truths spoken over your name are meant to change you, and as you receive them, they will. Type in the comments right now, these truths are changing me, as the declaration of a soul that is being transformed by receiving the truths spoken over its name in heaven, becoming the one heaven declared it to be. These truths are changing me. Stay with me, my child, into the next part of tonight, where I will tell you what these truths mean for the days ahead, how your life is about to change now that your name has come up in heaven, and why you must not miss what is coming. Your name came up in heaven today, my child, and what was said over it is about to reshape your whole life. Stay with me and let me show you what is coming. My child, I promised that I would tell you what all of this means for the days ahead, how your life is about to change now that your name has come up in heaven, and this is the part you most need to hear, because the speaking of your name in heaven is not only a comfort about who you are, but an announcement of what is coming. Heaven does not speak a name without consequence. When your name came up today, it set in motion a series of changes that are about to appear in your life, and I want to show you what they are, so that you will recognize them when they come and not miss the very things heaven declared. As it is written, surely the Lord God does nothing without revealing his secret to his servants. Amos 3:7. I am revealing to you what is coming, my child, so that you will not miss it, so that you will recognize the appearing of the things spoken over your name in heaven. The first thing that is coming, my child, is a lifting of the heaviness you have carried. When your name came up in heaven and the truths of your belonging and your worth were declared, it began the lifting of the heavy cloud that has hung over you, the weight of feeling invisible and worthless and forgotten. In the days ahead, you will begin to feel that weight lifting, the heaviness easing, the cloud breaking, as the truths spoken over your name work their way into your actual experience. As it is written, you have turned for me my mourning into dancing. You have loosed my sackcloth and clothed me with gladness. Psalm 30:11. The mourning is turning to dancing, my child, the sackcloth of your heaviness being replaced with gladness, as the heaven-spoken truths lift the weight you have carried for so long. Watch for the lifting, it is coming. This lifting, my child, may begin subtly, a slight easing, a moment of unexpected lightness, a brief lifting of the cloud that surprises you. Do not dismiss these moments as insignificant. They are the first signs of the heaviness lifting, the early evidence that the truths spoken over your name are working their way into your experience. As it is written, light dawns in the darkness for the upright. Psalm 112, verse 4. The light is dawning, my child, in the darkness you have lived in, beginning subtly, a first ray, then more, until the heaviness that has hung over you for so long is fully lifted. Watch for the first light, the first easing, the first moments of unexpected lightness, and know that they are the heaviness beginning to lift, set in motion by the speaking of your name in heaven. Type in the comments right now, the heaviness is lifting. As the declaration of a soul that watches for the lifting of the weight it has carried, the early signs that the truths spoken over its name are easing the heaviness. The heaviness is lifting. The second thing that is coming, my child, is a restoration of your sense of worth. For so long you have carried a diminished sense of yourself, a belief that you were small, insignificant, less than others, not worth much. When your name came up in heaven and your worth was declared, it began the restoration of your true sense of value, the replacing of the diminished self-image with the heaven-spoken truth of your preciousness. In the days ahead, you will begin to see yourself differently, to carry yourself differently, to know in a deeper way that you are valuable, treasured, precious to the God who made you. As it is written, you are precious in my eyes, and honored, and I love you. Isaiah 43:4. You are precious, my child, and as the truth of it spoken over your name works its way into you, your sense of worth will be restored, your diminished self-image replaced with the truth of your preciousness. This restored sense of worth, my child, will change everything about how you live. A soul that knows its worth lives differently than a soul that believes itself worthless. It carries itself with a quiet dignity, makes choices that honor its value, refuses to accept treatment that diminishes it, steps into opportunities it once believed it did not deserve. As your sense of worth is restored, my child, you will find yourself living from a new foundation, the foundation of one who knows they are precious to heaven. As it is written, "For you formed my inward parts, you knitted me together in my mother's womb. I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made." Psalm 139 verse 13 and 14. You are fearfully and wonderfully made, my child, and as you come to know it, your restored sense of worth will transform the way you live. Watch for it, it is coming. Type in the comments right now, "My sense of worth is being restored," as the declaration of a soul that watches for the restoration of its true value, the replacing of its diminished self-image with the truth of its preciousness to heaven. My sense of worth is being restored. The third thing that is coming, my child, is movement in the situations that have been stuck. When your name came up in heaven, heaven's attention turned toward your circumstances, and where heaven's attention turns, things begin to move. The situations that have been frozen, the doors that have been closed, the circumstances that have not budged for so long, are about to begin moving, because heaven is now engaged with them. As it is written, "Behold, I am the Lord, the God of all flesh. Is anything too hard for me?" Jeremiah 32:27. Nothing is too hard for me, my child, and the stuck situations of your life are not too hard for me to move. And now that your name has come up in heaven, and heaven's attention has turned toward your circumstances, the movement is beginning. Watch for the things that were stuck to start moving. This movement, my child, may come from directions you do not expect. The stuck situation may begin to shift not through the avenue you have been watching, but through a door you did not know existed, a person you did not anticipate, an opportunity that comes from an unexpected direction. So do not watch only the door you have been knocking on, my child. Watch all the doors, because the movement that is coming may appear through any of them, set in motion by the speaking of your name in heaven. As it is written, "Behold, I have set before you an open door, which no one is able to shut." Revelation 3:8. I am setting open doors before you, my child, doors no one can shut, and the movement in your stuck situations is beginning, appearing perhaps from directions you do not expect. Watch for it. It is coming. Type in the comments right now, "The stuck things are starting to move." As the declaration of a soul that watches for movement in its frozen situations, the shifting that begins when heaven's attention turns toward its circumstances. The stuck things are starting to move. My child, let me give your heart a moment of rest now, because I have been showing you the changes that are coming, and your soul needs simply to rest in being loved. I want you to know that all of these changes, the lifting of the heaviness, the restoration of your worth, the movement in your stuck situations, flow from the love that spoke your name in heaven. They are not mechanical consequences, but the expressions of a love that turned its full attention toward you today, and set in motion everything needed for your good. As it is written, "The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning." Lamentations 3:22 and 23. The steadfast love that never ceases, my child, is the source of all the changes coming. The love that spoke your name in heaven and set your transformation in motion. Rest in that love now, my child, apart from watching for all the changes, apart from any effort to make them come. Just rest in being loved, in being the one whose name came up in heaven, because love turned its attention toward you. You do not have to make the changes happen. Love is bringing them. You only have to rest in the love that spoke your name and set everything in motion. As it is written, "We love because he first loved us." 1 John 4:19. He first loved you, my child, and that first love is the source of your name coming up in heaven and all the changes that follow. Rest in it. Let it hold you. Let it be the ground beneath all the changes that are coming. Let yourself stay in that rest for a moment, my child, simply receiving the love that spoke your name in heaven and set your transformation in motion. The changes are coming, but they are not yours to manufacture. They are love's gift, flowing from the heart that spoke your name today. Rest in the love, my child, and trust it to bring all that it has set in motion. You are loved. Your name was spoken in heaven, and the changes are coming, all of it flowing from a love that has never ceased and never will. Rest there. Type in the comments right now, the changes flow from his love, as the declaration of a soul that rests in the love that spoke its name in heaven, trusting that love to bring the changes it has set in motion. The changes flow from his love. The fourth thing that is coming, my child, is the arrival of the right people. For so long you may have felt alone, surrounded by those who did not understand you, or who drained you, or who could not give you what you needed. When your name came up in heaven, heaven began to arrange the people of your next season, drawing toward you those who will help you, understand you, walk with you into the new chapter. As it is written, 2 are better than 1, because they have a good reward for their toil. Ecclesiastes 4:9. The right people are coming, my child, drawn toward you by heaven's arranging, the companions for your next season, those who will help you and understand you and walk with you. Watch for them. The arrival of the right people is part of what was set in motion when your name came up in heaven. These people, my child, may already be on their way to you, or may already be near, waiting to be recognized. So stay open to the people heaven is bringing, even if they come in unexpected forms, even if they do not look like what you imagined. As it is written, a friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. Proverbs 17:17. Heaven is bringing you friends who love at all times, my child. Companions for your adversity. The right people for your next season, set in motion by the speaking of your name. The loneliness of the old season is ending, and the right people are coming. Watch for them and receive them when they come. Type in the comments right now, the right people are coming. As the declaration of a soul that watches for the companions heaven is arranging for its next season, the right people drawn toward it when its name came up in heaven. The right people are coming. Naming aragwain to me, nift the adit. For so long you have shrunk back, played small, hidden yourself, because you believed you were not worth much and had nothing to offer. As the truths spoken over your name work their way into you, a new boldness will rise. The confidence of one who knows they are mine and loved and purposed. The courage to step forward, to speak up, to take the opportunities you once shrank from. As it is written, the righteous are bold as a lion. Proverbs 28 verse 1. A new boldness is rising in you, my child. The boldness of one whose name came up in heaven, who knows their worth and their belonging, who no longer shrinks back, but steps forward with the confidence of a treasured child of God. Watch for the new boldness. It is coming, and it will change the way you move through the world. This boldness, my child, is not arrogance or self-reliance, but the quiet confidence of one who knows they are backed by heaven, who knows their name was spoken in the eternal courts, who knows they are not facing their life alone. From that knowing comes a courage that the long seasons of feeling small could never produce, a willingness to step forward into the purpose and the opportunities that are coming. As it is written, for God gave us a spirit not of fear, but of power and love and self-control. 2 Timothy 1:7. The spirit I have given you is not fear, my child, but power. And as the truths spoken over your name rise in you, that spirit of power will produce a new boldness, the confidence to step into all that is coming. Watch for it. Type in the comments right now, a new boldness is rising in me. As the declaration of a soul that watches for the new confidence rising from knowing its name came up in heaven, the boldness to step forward into purpose and opportunity. A new boldness is rising in me. My child, I want to address a fear that may be rising in you as I describe all these changes coming. The fear that you will somehow miss them, that they will pass by while you are not looking, that you will fail to recognize the very things heaven set in motion. I want to free you from this fear, because it has the power to fill the coming days with anxiety rather than expectation. You will not miss the changes, my child, because I will help you see them. The same heaven that spoke your name and set the changes in motion will also open your eyes to recognize them when they come. You do not have to anxiously watch every moment, terrified of missing the signs, because I am committed to making sure you do not miss what I am bringing. As it is written, I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will counsel you with my eye upon you. Psalm 32:8. I will counsel you, my child, with my eye upon you, helping you recognize the changes as they come, ensuring you do not miss the things spoken over your name. You can watch with expectation rather than anxiety, because I am helping you see. So release the fear of missing the changes, my child, and replace it with the peace of trusting that I will help you recognize them. The changes are coming, and I am bringing them, and I will also help you see them, so that you receive all that was spoken over your name. As it is written, he who calls you is faithful, he will surely do it. 1 Thessalonians 5:24. I am faithful, my child, faithful to bring the changes, and faithful to help you see them, so that not one of the things spoken over your name in heaven will be missed. Watch with peace, with expectation, trusting that I will help you recognize all that is coming. Type in the comments right now, I will not miss what is coming, as the declaration of a soul freed from the fear of missing the changes, trusting that God will help it recognize all that was spoken over its name. I will not miss what is coming. The sixth thing that is coming, my child, is the breaking of patterns that have held you. For so long you may have been trapped in cycles that repeat, patterns of difficulty that come around again and again, chains of habit or circumstance that you could not break no matter how hard you tried. When your name came up in heaven, the breaking of these patterns was set in motion, because heaven has the power to break what you could not break, to end the cycles you could not end, to free you from the chains you could not loose. As it is written, if the Son sets you free, you will be free indeed. John 8:36. Freedom is coming, my child. The breaking of the patterns that have held you, set in motion when your name came up in heaven. The cycles that repeated are about to be broken, the chains loosed, the patterns ended. I know how exhausting the repeating patterns have been, my child, how you have tried to break them by your own strength and failed, how you have come to believe they would hold you forever. But what you could not break by your own strength, heaven can break, and the speaking of your name in heaven set that breaking in motion. As it is written, you have loosed my bonds. Psalm 116 verse 16. Your bonds are being loosed, my child. The patterns broken, the cycles ended, by the power of heaven that turned its attention toward you when your name came up. Watch for the breaking of the old patterns. It is coming, and it will free you from what has held you for so long. Type in the comments right now, the old patterns are breaking, as the declaration of a soul that watches for the breaking of the cycles and chains that have held it, set in motion when its name came up in heaven. The old patterns are breaking. The seventh thing that is coming, my child, is provision for your needs. Heaven knows your needs, the practical pressures you carry, the lack that has worried you, the provision you have prayed for. When your name came up in heaven, your needs came up with it, and provision was set in motion, the meeting of your needs arranged by the one who owns everything and provides for his children. As it is written, and my God will supply every need of yours, according to his riches in glory in Christ Jesus. Philippians 4:19. Your needs are being supplied, my child, according to riches beyond your imagining, set in motion when your name came up in heaven. The provision you have prayed for is coming, arranged by the God who knows your needs and supplies them. This provision, my child, may come in ways you do not expect, through channels you did not anticipate, from directions you were not watching. So do not limit your expectation to the ways you imagine provision must come. Heaven has more ways to provide than you can conceive, and the meeting of your needs may come through any of them. As it is written, and God is able to make all grace abound to you, so that having all sufficiency in all things at all times, you may abound in every good work. 2 Corinthians 9:8. God is able to make all grace abound to you, my child, all sufficiency in all things, provision arranged by heaven when your name came up. Watch for the provision, coming perhaps in unexpected ways, meeting the needs heaven knows you carry. Type in the comments right now, my needs are being supplied. There's the declaration of a soul that watches for the provision heaven set in motion when its name came up, the meeting of its needs by the God who owns everything. My needs are being supplied. My child, I want to give you a picture to hold on to, a picture of what is happening in your life now that your name has come up in heaven. Imagine a vast and intricate machinery, unseen, beginning to turn, gears engaging, mechanisms moving, all set in motion by a single word spoken in the control room of heaven, the word being your name. You cannot see the machinery, cannot hear it turning, but it is moving, all of it, every gear and mechanism engaged toward a single purpose, which is your good, your transformation, the bringing to pass of everything spoken over your name. As it is written, we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good. Romans 8:28. All things are working together, my child. The vast unseen machinery of heaven turning toward your good, set in motion when your name came up. And the beautiful thing, my child, is that you do not have to operate the machinery, do not have to make the gears turn, do not have to engineer your own transformation. The machinery is heaven's, operated by heaven, turning by heaven's power toward heaven's purpose for you. Your part is simply to trust that it is turning, to watch for its effects appearing in your life, to receive the changes as they come. As it is written, the Lord will fulfill his purpose for me. Your steadfast love, O Lord, endures forever. Psalm 138:8. The Lord will fulfill his purpose for you, my child. The machinery of heaven turning toward it, set in motion by the speaking of your name. You do not have to make it happen. You only have to trust that it is happening and watch for its appearing. Rest in the turning of heaven's machinery on your behalf. Type in the comments right now, heaven's machinery is turning for me, as the declaration of a soul that trusts the unseen working of heaven, set in motion by the speaking of its name, all things working together for its good. Heaven's machinery is turning for me. My child, if you are still here, still receiving all that is coming, I want you to hold on to one thing above all, as you wait for these changes to appear. They are certain. The changes coming are not possibilities that might happen if conditions are right. They are certainties set in motion by the speaking of your name in heaven, as sure as anything heaven declares. As it is written, God is not man, that he should lie, or a son of man, that he should change his mind. Has he said, and will he not do it? Numbers 23:19. What heaven has spoken over your name, my child, will be done, because heaven does not speak and fail to act, does not declare and fail to fulfill. The changes are certain, sure, guaranteed by the faithfulness of the one who spoke your name. So wait for them not with anxious uncertainty, but with confident expectation, my child, knowing that what was set in motion will surely come to pass. The waiting is not the uncertain waiting of one who hopes against hope, but the confident waiting of one who knows that heaven has spoken and heaven will act. As it is written, let us hold fast the confession of our hope without wavering, for he who promised is faithful. Hebrews 10:23. Hold fast your hope without wavering, my child, because the one who spoke your name in heaven is faithful, and the changes set in motion are certain to come. Wait with confidence, with expectation, with the assurance that what heaven declared will surely appear. Type in the comments right now, the changes are certain. As the declaration of a soul that waits for the changes, not with anxious uncertainty, but with confident expectation, knowing heaven is faithful to fulfill what it spoke over its name. The changes are certain. My child, I want to address the timing of all these changes, because I know your heart is asking when, how soon, how long until they appear. And while I will not give you a date, because the timing rests in my wisdom, I want to assure you that the timing will be perfect. Neither too early when you would not be ready, nor too late when the moment would have passed, but exactly right, in the fullness of time. As it is written, for everything there is a season, and a time for every matter under heaven. Ecclesiastes 3:1. There is a time for each of the changes coming, my child, an appointed season, and that timing is held in my wisdom, perfect, neither rushed nor delayed. Trust the timing even as you wait, knowing that the one who set the changes in motion knows exactly when each should appear. I know that waiting is hard, my child, especially when you have already waited so long, especially when you long for the changes to appear now. But the waiting between the speaking of your name and the appearing of the changes is not empty waiting. It is the time in which heaven arranges everything for the perfect appearing, the time in which you are prepared to receive what is coming, the time in which all the pieces move into place. As it is written, but they who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength. Isaiah 40:31. Even the waiting renews you, my child, prepares you, strengthens you for what is coming. The time between the speaking and the appearing is not wasted. It is part of the perfect arrangement of your good. Wait with trust, knowing the timing will be exactly right. And in the waiting, my child, hold on to the certainty of what was spoken, rather than the anxiety of when it will appear. The when is mine to determine, but the what is settled, sure, declared over your name in heaven. So rest in the certainty of the what and release the anxiety of the when into my hands, trusting that the perfect timing will bring each change at exactly the right moment. As it is written, my times are in your hand. Psalm 31 Valamaishua. Your times are in my hand, my child. The timing of every change held in my wisdom, perfect and sure. Release the when to me, hold on to the certain what, and wait with the peace of one who trusts the perfect timing of a faithful God. Type in the comments right now, the timing will be perfect, as the declaration of a soul that releases the anxiety of when the changes will appear, trusting the perfect timing held in God's wisdom, while holding on to the certainty of what was spoken. The timing will be perfect. My child, before we move into how to respond to all this, I want you to take a moment and consider how different your situation is now than you believed it to be when this message began. You thought you were invisible, and you have learned that your name came up in heaven. You thought you were forgotten, and you have learned that heaven remembered every tear. You thought your situation was hopeless and stuck, and you have learned that heaven has set its transformation in motion. You thought you were alone, and you have learned that heaven is engaged on your behalf. The whole picture of your life has changed, not because your circumstances have visibly changed yet, but because you now see the unseen reality that was always there, the reality of a heaven attentive to you, a love that spoke your name, a transformation set in motion. As it is written, for we walk by faith, not by sight. 2 Corinthians 5:7. You are walking by faith now, my child, seeing the unseen reality, knowing the truth of your situation that your eyes could not show you. So carry this new sight with you, my child, into all the days ahead. When the old lies whisper that you are invisible, forgotten, hopeless, alone, answer them with the truth you have learned tonight. Your name came up in heaven. You are remembered. Your transformation is in motion. Heaven is engaged for you. As it is written, we look not to the things that are seen, but to the things that are unseen. 2 Corinthians 4:18. Look to the unseen reality, my child, the reality of a heaven that spoke your name and set your good in motion, and let it be truer to you than the visible circumstances that have not yet caught up. You see differently now, and that new sight will carry you, with faith and hope, through all the days until the changes fully appear. Type in the comments right now, I see my life differently now, as the declaration of a soul that has received a new sight of the unseen reality, knowing its name came up in heaven and its transformation is in motion, seeing past the visible circumstances to the truth. I see my life differently now. Stay with me, my child, into the next part of tonight, where I will show you how to respond to your name coming up in heaven, how to live in a way that receives all that has been spoken over you, and how to not miss any of what is coming. Your name came up in heaven today, my child, and the changes are beginning. Stay with me and let me show you how to walk into them. My child, I promised that I would show you how to respond to your name coming up in heaven, how to live in a way that receives all that has been spoken over you and misses none of what is coming. And this is important, because the truth that your name came up in heaven calls for a response, a way of living that aligns with it, that receives it, that lets it become real in your life. A truth received passively often fades. A truth lived actively transforms. So let me show you how to live as one whose name came up in heaven. As it is written, but be doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving yourselves. James 1:22. Be a doer of this word, my child, not only a hearer, so that the truth of your name coming up in heaven becomes the lived reality of your transformed life. The first way to respond, my child, is to begin to see yourself as heaven sees you. For so long you have seen yourself through the lens of your failures, your disappointments, the lies of the long seasons. Now you must begin to see yourself through the lens of what was spoken over your name in heaven. Mine, loved, purposed, defended, prepared, rejoiced over, remembered. This is a deliberate choice, a daily practice, the choosing to see yourself by heaven's declaration rather than by the old lies. As it is written, as he thinks in his heart, so is he. Proverbs 23 verse 7. As you think of yourself, my child, so you become. And so I am asking you to think of yourself the way heaven declared you, to let heaven's view of you replace your own diminished view until you begin to live as the one heaven says you are. This change of self-view, my child, is not arrogance or self-deception, but simply the alignment of your view with the truth. Heaven sees you accurately, and when you see yourself as heaven sees you, you are seeing accurately too. replacing the distorted self-image of the long seasons with the true image declared over your name. As it is written, "For now we see in a mirror dimly, but then face to face." 1 Corinthians 13:12. Begin to see yourself clearly, my child, as heaven sees you, no longer in the dim, distorted mirror of the old lies, but in the clear light of what was spoken over your name. This is the first way to respond. See yourself as heaven sees you. Type in the comments right now, "I will see myself as heaven sees me," as the declaration of a soul that chooses to view itself by heaven's declaration rather than the old lies, seeing itself as mine, loved and purposed. I will see myself as heaven sees me. The second way to respond, my child, is to live with expectation. Now that you know your name came up in heaven and changes are coming, live as one who expects them, who watches for them, who anticipates the appearing of what heaven set in motion. Do not return to the resignation of the old seasons, expecting nothing, hoping for nothing. Live forward, watchful, expectant, knowing that heaven is at work on your behalf and the changes are coming. As it is written, "I wait for the Lord, my soul waits, and in his word I hope." Psalm 130 verse 5. Wait with hope, my child, expectant, watching for the appearing of all that was spoken over your name, living forward in the confidence that heaven is at work and the changes are coming. This expectation, my child, will change the quality of your days. A soul that lives with expectation moves through its days differently than a soul sunk in resignation, watching for the good rather than bracing for the bad, anticipating the changes rather than dreading more of the same. As it is written, "But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength." Isaiah 40:31. Your hope renews you, my child, and living with expectation, watching for the changes coming, will fill your days with a new energy, the energy of anticipation rather than the heaviness of resignation. This is the second way to respond. Live with expectation, watching for all that heaven set in motion. Type in the comments right now, "I will live with expectation," as the declaration of a soul that lives forward in anticipation of the changes heaven set in motion, watching for the good rather than bracing for more of the same. I will live with expectation. The third way to respond, my child, is to give thanks before you see the full appearing. Thanksgiving is the language of faith, the way a soul honors the truth it cannot yet see, the declaration that you believe what heaven spoke even before its full appearing. When you give thanks for your name coming up in heaven and the changes set in motion, you are aligning yourself with the truth, honoring it, declaring your faith in it, as it is written, "Give thanks in all circumstances, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus for you." 1 Thessalonians 5:18. Give thanks now, my child, before you see the full appearing, for your name coming up in heaven, for the truths spoken over you, for the changes set in motion. The thanksgiving honors the truth and aligns you with it. This thanksgiving, my child, is not pretending the difficulties are not real, but choosing to focus on the truth that is greater than the difficulties, the truth that your name came up in heaven and your transformation is in motion. As you give thanks, you strengthen your own faith, lift your own heart, and align yourself with the good that heaven is bringing. As it is written, "Enter his gates with thanksgiving and his courts with praise. Give thanks to him, bless his name." Psalm 104. Enter into thanksgiving, my child, giving thanks for all that was spoken over your name, and let the thanksgiving be your response of faith, honoring the truth before its full appearing. This is the third way to respond. Give thanks before you see. Type in the comments right now, "I give thanks before I see it," as the declaration of a soul that responds to its name coming up in heaven with thanksgiving, honoring the truth and aligning with it before its full appearing. I give thanks before I see it. My child, let me give your heart a moment of rest now, because I have been showing you how to respond, and your soul needs simply to rest in being loved. I do not want the ways of responding to feel like a burden, like a list of things you must do perfectly, or forfeit what heaven spoke. They are not burdens, but the natural overflow of a soul that has received the truth, the glad response of one who knows its name came up in heaven. And even if you respond imperfectly, the truth remains true, the changes remain in motion, the love that spoke your name remains constant. As it is written, "If we are faithless, he remains faithful, for he cannot deny himself." 2 Timothy 2:13. Even when you are faithless, my child, I remain faithful, and the truths spoken over your name do not depend on your perfect response, but on my unchanging faithfulness. So rest in that, my child. The ways of responding are gifts to help you receive what heaven spoke, not tests you must pass to earn it. And the love that spoke your name in heaven holds you whether you respond perfectly or imperfectly, whether you see yourself rightly today or slip back into the old lies tomorrow. Because the love is constant, the truth is settled, the changes are in motion, regardless of your performance. As it is written, the steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. Lamentations 3:22. The love that spoke your name never ceases, my child, and you can rest in it, responding gladly, but without the fear that imperfect response will undo what heaven declared. Rest in the constancy of the love that spoke your name. Let yourself stay in that rest for a moment, my child, simply receiving the truth that the love which spoke your name in heaven holds you regardless of your response. You do not have to respond perfectly to keep what heaven gave. You only have to receive the love, rest in the truth, and let your response flow gladly from a settled security rather than an anxious striving. Rest there, my child. Your name came up in heaven, and the love that spoke it is constant, holding you through every response, perfect or imperfect, faithful or faltering. Rest in that constancy. Type in the comments right now, the love that spoke my name is constant, as the declaration of a soul that rests in the unchanging love that spoke its name in heaven, responding gladly, but without fear, secure in a love that does not depend on its performance. The love that spoke my name is constant. The fourth way to respond, my child, is to speak the truth of your name over yourself. Just as your words once agreed with the lies of the long seasons, declaring your invisibility and worthlessness, now your words can agree with the truth spoken over your name in heaven. When you speak the truth, you reinforce it, plant it deeper, let it take hold in you. So speak it, my child. I am His, I am loved, I have a purpose. My name came up in heaven. As it is written, I believed, and so I spoke. 2 Corinthians 4:13. Believe and speak, my child, declaring over yourself the truth that was declared over your name in heaven, letting your words agree with heaven's words, reinforcing the truth until it becomes the unshakable foundation of how you see yourself. This speaking, my child, is powerful, because your words shape your inner world, and when you speak the truth of your name, you are building within yourself the reality heaven declared. As it is written, death and life are in the power of the tongue. Proverbs 18:21. Speak life over yourself, my child, the life of the truth spoken over your name, refusing the old words of death and defeat that belonged to the long seasons. Each time you speak the truth, you reinforce it, until the truth spoken over your name in heaven becomes the truth you speak over yourself, the foundation of your renewed life. This is the fourth way to respond. Speak the truth of your name over yourself. Type in the comments right now, I speak the truth of my name, as the declaration of a soul that reinforces the truth spoken over its name in heaven by speaking it over itself, letting its words agree with heaven's words. I speak the truth of my name. The fifth way to respond, my child, is to share what you have received. The truth that your name came up in heaven is not only for you, it is a truth that others need to hear. Others who feel as invisible and forgotten as you once did, who need to know that their names too can come up in heaven. When you share what you have received, you not only help others, but reinforce the truth in yourself, becoming a carrier of the very hope that reached you tonight. As it is written, freely you have received, freely give. Matthew 10:8. Freely you have received this truth, my child, and freely you can give it, sharing with others the hope that your name came up in heaven, becoming a light to those still living in the darkness of feeling invisible. This sharing, my child, is part of the purpose that was affirmed over your name. You were not given this truth only to keep it for yourself, but to become one who carries it to others, who lifts the heads of those who feel forgotten, who tells them what you have learned, that heaven sees, heaven remembers, heaven speaks their names too. As it is written, let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father who is in heaven. Matthew 5:16. Let your light shine, my child, the light of the truth you received tonight, sharing it with those who need it, becoming a carrier of the hope that reached you. This is the fifth way to respond. Share what you have received. Type in the comments right now, I will share this hope with others, as the declaration of a soul that becomes a carrier of the truth it received, sharing with others the hope that their names too can come up in heaven. I will share this hope with others. My child, I want to prepare you for something, because I love you too much to send you into the days ahead without warning. The old lies will try to return. Tomorrow, or the next day, or in some difficult moment ahead, the lies of invisibility and worthlessness and being forgotten will whisper again, trying to convince you that tonight was not real, that your name did not come up in heaven, that you are still the small and overlooked person you believed yourself to be. I am telling you this in advance, so that you are not surprised, so that when the lies return, you do not mistake their return for the truth. As it is written, the thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. John 10:10. The thief will try to steal the truth you received tonight, my child, but you can refuse him, holding on to what heaven spoke over your name against every lie that tries to take it back. So when the old lies return, my child, answer them with the truth you learned tonight. When they whisper that you are invisible, answer, my name came up in heaven. When they whisper that you are forgotten, answer, heaven remembered every tear. When they whisper that you are worthless, answer, I am precious, honored, and loved. Do not let the lies reclaim you, my child. Hold on to the truth, speak it against the lies, refuse to return to the darkness you have been brought out of. As it is written, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. James 4:7. Resist the lies with the truth, my child, and they will flee, unable to reclaim a soul that holds on to what heaven spoke over its name. Be ready for the lies to return, and be ready to answer them with the truth. Type in the comments right now, I will answer the lies with the truth. As the declaration of a soul prepared for the old lies to return, ready to answer them with the truth spoken over its name in heaven, refusing to return to the darkness. I will answer the lies with the truth. My child, I want to give you one final way to respond, perhaps the most important of all, and it is simply to believe. Above all the other responses, above seeing and expecting and giving thanks and speaking and sharing, the deepest response is simply to believe that your name came up in heaven, to take it as true, to let it be the settled conviction of your heart. Everything else flows from this. As it is written, and without faith it is impossible to please him. For whoever would draw near to God must believe that he exists and that he rewards those who seek him. Hebrews 11:6. Believe, my child, that your name came up in heaven, that the truths spoken over you are real, that the changes are in motion. The believing is the foundation of receiving all that heaven has for you. And if your believing is weak, my child, if you struggle to fully believe that your name came up in heaven, that is all right, because even a small, struggling faith is enough, and I will honor it, strengthen it, grow it. You do not need a perfect, unwavering faith to receive what heaven spoke. You only need the willingness to believe, even a small believing, even a faith mixed with doubt. As it is written, I believe, help my unbelief. Mark 9:24. Bring me even your struggling faith, my child, your believing mixed with doubt, and say, I believe, help my unbelief, and I will honor it, meeting your small faith with my great faithfulness. This is the final way to respond. Believe, even with a small and struggling faith, that your name came up in heaven. Type in the comments right now, I believe my name came up in heaven. As the declaration of a soul that responds with faith, even a small and struggling faith, taking as true that its name came up in heaven and the changes are in motion. I believe my name came up in heaven. My child, I want to give you some practices to carry into the days ahead, simple things that will keep you living in the truth of your name coming up in heaven, so that it does not fade into a memory, but remains a living reality. The first practice is to begin each morning by remembering. Before the day gets its hands on you, before the old lies can whisper, take a moment each morning to remember that your name came up in heaven, that you are mine and loved and purposed. As it is written, satisfy us in the morning with your steadfast love, that we may rejoice and be glad all our days. Psalm 90:14. Begin your mornings, my child, with the remembering of your name in heaven, and let it set the tone for all the day that follows. The second practice, my child, is to keep a record of the changes as they appear. As the things heaven set in motion begin to appear in your life, write them down, mark them, remember them, so that you build a record of heaven's faithfulness that strengthens your faith for what is still coming. As it is written, remember the wondrous works that he has done. Psalm 105:5. Remember the works, my child, keeping a record of each change as it appears, building a testimony of heaven's faithfulness that will carry you through the waiting for what is still to come. The recording keeps you aware of the changes and strengthens your faith. The third practice, my child, is to return often to this truth, to come back again and again to the reality that your name came up in heaven, refreshing it, renewing it, letting it sink deeper each time. The old lies are persistent, and the truth must be renewed persistently to overcome them, as it is written, "But grow in the grace and knowledge of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ." 2 Peter 3:18. Grow in this truth, my child, returning to it often, letting it sink deeper, until the reality of your name in heaven is so established in you that no lie can shake it. The returning keeps the truth alive and growing in you. Type in the comments right now, "I will keep this truth alive," as the declaration of a soul that commits to the daily practices that keep the truth of its name in heaven a living reality, remembering, recording, and returning. I will keep this truth alive. My child, I want to tell you about a man who held on to a word from heaven through many years before it came to pass, because his example will help you hold on to what was spoken over your name. He received a promise, a word of what would come, and then he waited, through years of nothing visibly happening, through circumstances that seemed to contradict the promise, through the long testing of his faith, and he held on. As it is written, no distrust made him waver concerning the promise of God, but he grew strong in his faith as he gave glory to God, fully convinced that God was able to do what he had promised. Romans 4:20 and 21. He grew strong in faith through the waiting, my child, fully convinced that God was able, holding on to the promise until it came to pass. And in the end, the promise was fulfilled, exactly as spoken, after all the long waiting. You are called to hold on the same way, my child, to the truth spoken over your name in heaven, through whatever waiting comes before its full appearing, fully convinced that the God who spoke is able to fulfill. As it is written, she who believed that there would be a fulfillment of what was spoken to her from the Lord. Luke 1 verse 45. Believe that there will be a fulfillment, my child, of what was spoken over your name in heaven, and hold on to that belief through the waiting, growing strong in faith as you wait, fully convinced that heaven is able to bring to pass what it declared. The holding on is part of your response, the faith that waits for the fulfillment of what was spoken. Type in the comments right now, "I will hold on until it is fulfilled," as the declaration of a soul that holds on to the truth spoken over its name in heaven through the waiting, fully convinced that God is able to fulfill what he declared. I will hold on until it is fulfilled. My child, I want to address one final thing about how to respond, and it is how to live with others now that your name has come up in heaven. Because the truth you have received is not only for you, but changes how you see everyone around you. If your name came up in heaven, so can theirs. If you are precious to heaven, so are they. If you have a purpose, so do they. And so the truth you receive tonight calls you to see others differently, to treat them as ones whose names can also come up in heaven, to extend to them the same dignity and worth you have received. As it is written, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. Mark 12:31. Love others as yourself, my child, seeing in them the same preciousness you have received, treating them as ones whom heaven also sees and names and loves. This new way of seeing others, my child, flows naturally from the truth you have received. A soul that knows its own worth from heaven can recognize the worth of others. A soul that knows it is loved can love. A soul that knows its name came up in heaven can treat others as ones whose names matter too. As it is written, beloved, if God so loved us, we also ought to love one another. 1 John 4:11. Because heaven loved you, my child, spoke your name, declared your worth, you are now able to love others, to honor their worth, to treat them as the precious souls they are. The truth you receive tonight makes you not only a recipient of heaven's love, but a carrier of it to others. This is part of your response, to see and treat others as ones whose names also matter to heaven. Type in the comments right now, "I will see others as heaven sees them," as the declaration of a soul that extends to others the dignity and worth it has received, treating them as ones whose names can also come up in heaven. I will see others as heaven sees them. My child, I want to address the fear that even after all this, you will slip back into the old way of seeing yourself, that the truth of your name coming up in heaven will fade and the old smallness will return, and that you will end up right back where you started, as invisible feeling as before. I want to free you from this fear, because the changing of how you see yourself is not entirely up to you. I am at work in it too. The transformation of your self-view, my child, is something I am committed to completing in you, not something you must accomplish alone by sheer effort of will. As the truths spoken over your name work their way deeper into you, As you practice the responses and return to the truth, I am also at work, renewing your mind, transforming your inner world, establishing the truth in you in a way that grows more permanent over time. As it is written, and I am sure of this, that he who began a good work in you will bring it to completion at the day of Jesus Christ. Philippians 1:6. I will bring it to completion, my child. The good work of transforming how you see yourself, establishing the truth of your name in heaven so deeply that the old smallness loses its power. You are not alone in the work of holding on to this truth. I am with you in it, completing what I have begun. So do not fear that you will lose the truth, my child. Even if you slip, even if the old lies return for a time, even if your self-view wavers, the work I am doing in you continues, drawing you back to the truth, re-establishing it, completing the transformation over time. As it is written, for it is God who works in you, both to will and to work for his good pleasure. Philippians 2:13. I am working in you, my child, both the willing and the working, the transformation of how you see yourself into the truth of what was spoken over your name. Trust that work, and do not fear that you will lose what heaven gave, because the one who gave it is committed to establishing it in you forever. Type in the comments right now, he will establish this truth in me, as the declaration of a soul that releases the fear of slipping back, trusting that God is committed to completing the work of establishing the truth of its name in heaven. He will establish this truth in me. My child, if you are still here, all the way to here, I want you to recognize what you're staying through this entire message reveals. It reveals a soul that is hungry for the truth of its worth, that has longed to know it matters, that has been waiting, perhaps without knowing it, to hear exactly what heaven declared over your name tonight. And that hunger, my child, that longing to know you matter, is itself a gift, the very thing that brought you all the way through this message to receive the truth you needed. As it is written, blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be satisfied. Matthew 5:6. Your hunger has been satisfied tonight, my child, with the truth that your name came up in heaven, and that satisfied hunger is the sign that this truth was meant for you, that you were brought here to receive it, that heaven arranged this very encounter. So receive it fully, my child, as one whose hunger has been satisfied, whose longing has been met, whose deep need to know they matter has been answered by the truth that their name came up in heaven. This was not an accident, you're finding this message tonight. It was heaven arranging to give you the truth your hungry soul most needed. As it is written, he satisfies the longing soul, and the hungry soul he fills with good things. Psalm 107:9. Your longing soul has been satisfied, my child. Your hungry soul filled with the good thing of knowing your name came up in heaven. Receive it as the answer to a hunger you have carried for so long, the satisfaction of a deep need finally met. Type in the comments right now, my hunger to matter is satisfied, as the declaration of a soul whose deep longing to know it matters has been answered by the truth that its name came up in heaven, satisfied and filled with good things. My hunger to matter is satisfied. Stay with me, my child, into the final part of tonight, where I will give your soul the deep rest it has been longing for, and where I will speak over you the blessings that will carry you into all that heaven set in motion when your name came up. Your name came up in heaven today, my child. Do not miss it. Stay with me and let me give you rest. My child, we have come to the final part of our night together, and I want you to let everything else fall away now. You have received the most astonishing truth tonight, that your name came up in heaven, that you are seen and known and treasured and named in the eternal courts. You have heard what was spoken over your name, learned what is coming, and discovered how to respond. There is nothing left for you to do now but rest, and let me hold you, and let the truth of this night settle into the deepest places of your soul. So let yourself settle now, wherever you are. If you are lying down, let your whole body sink into the surface beneath you, fully supported, fully held. If you are sitting, let your shoulders drop, let your hands rest open, let the tension drain away. The work of tonight is done, your name came up in heaven, and all that remains now is rest. As it is written, in peace I will both lie down and sleep. For you alone, O Lord, make me dwell in safety. Psalm 4:8. Rest now, my child, in the safety of the one who spoke your name in heaven. Let your breathing slow now, my child. Do not force it. Just let each breath come a little more gently than the one before, a little deeper, a little slower, until your breathing finds the quiet rhythm of a soul at rest. And as you breathe, I want you to feel the difference in you now. after this night. You came believing you were invisible, and you have learned that your name came up in heaven. You came feeling forgotten, and you have learned that heaven remembered every tear. You came feeling small and worthless, and you have learned that you are precious, honored, and loved. That is the work of this night, my child. The lifting of a soul from the darkness of feeling invisible into the light of knowing it is seen and named in heaven. As it is written, "But you are a chosen race, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a people for his own possession, that you may proclaim the excellencies of him who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light." 1 Peter 2:9. You have been called out of the darkness of invisibility into the marvelous light of being named in heaven, my child, and now you can rest in that light. With each breath out now, my child, let something leave you. Let the old belief in your invisibility leave. Let the feeling of being forgotten leave. Let the diminished sense of your worth leave, flowing out of you with each exhale, released into my keeping. And with each breath in, receive from me. Breathe in, my name came up in heaven. Breathe in, I am seen and known. Breathe in, I am precious and loved. Breathe in, heaven is engaged on my behalf. Let each breath plant these truths deeper in you, until they are no longer just things you heard tonight, but things you know in the very foundation of your soul, carried with you into all the days that follow. My child, let me walk through your body now and help you release the last of the tension, the physical weight of the long season of feeling invisible. Begin with your forehead, the space between your eyebrows where the weight of feeling overlooked gathered. Let it soften, let it smooth. Let the heaviness of the long invisibility dissolve from your face until it wears the peace of a soul that knows it is seen in heaven. Let it move down into your jaw, which has been tight with the strain of carrying your worth alone. And let it loosen, let it soften, let it release. Let it flow down into your neck and your shoulders, those shoulders that have been bowed under the belief that no one noticed you, that have carried the weight of feeling forgotten for so long. Let them drop, let them fall away from your ears. Let them rise out of the bowed posture of invisibility into the dignity of one whose name came up in heaven. Let the release flow down through your arms to your hands, and let your hands open now, the hands that have held the weight of feeling worthless for so long, and let them rest open and soft, ready to receive the truth of your preciousness. Let it move down through your chest, where the ache of feeling unseen has sat, and let the ache lift. Let your chest open. Let the breath move freely through a body that knows it is seen in heaven. Let it flow down through your stomach, where the anxiety of feeling forgotten lived as a knot, and let the knot loosen. Let it untie. Let the deep center of your body release into the peace of being named in heaven, and let it move down through your legs, all the way to your feet, until your entire body, from the crown of your head to the soles of your feet, has released the weight of the long invisibility and rests, seen, known, named, at peace, held in the presence of the one who spoke your name in heaven today. As it is written, he makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. Psalm 23:2 and 3. Let me restore your soul now, my child, your body at rest, your worth restored, your name spoken in heaven. This is how your soul rests too, my child, the way your body is resting now. No longer striving to prove its worth, no longer aching to be seen, no longer carrying the weight of feeling forgotten, but resting in the truth that it is already seen, already known, already named in heaven. Let your soul rest the way your body is resting, secure in its preciousness, at peace in its belonging, knowing its name came up in heaven today. As it is written, return to your rest, O my soul, for the Lord has dealt bountifully with you. Psalm 11:16 verse 7. Return to your rest now, my child. I have dealt bountifully with you, speaking your name in heaven, declaring your worth, setting your transformation in motion. Rest in all of it. My child, let me speak the blessings over you now, the ones I want you to carry into your sleep tonight and into all the days ahead, so that they can work in you in the deep places that only open in rest. Over your invisibility, I speak this. It is over. The long season of feeling unseen, overlooked, forgotten, is ending, because you now know that your name came up in heaven, that you are seen by the one whose seeing matters most. You will not return to the darkness of feeling invisible, my child, because the light of being named in heaven has dawned on you, and that light does not go out. As it is written, the people who walked in darkness have seen a great light. Isaiah 9:2. You have seen the great light, my child. The light of being seen and named in heaven, and the darkness of your invisibility is over. Over your worth I speak this. It is established. The diminished sense of your value, the belief that you are small and worthless, is being replaced by the truth declared over your name in heaven, that you are precious, honored, and loved. Your worth does not depend on anyone's recognition, on any achievement, on any circumstance. It is established by the God who made you and spoke your name in heaven. As it is written, you are precious in my eyes, and honored, and I love you. Isaiah 43:4. Your worth is established, my child, precious and honored, declared over your name in heaven, secure forever. Over your belonging I speak this, it is sure. You are not an orphan in the universe, not a stray soul with no one to claim you, but mine, claimed, owned, belonging to the God who spoke your name in heaven. Your belonging is sure, secure, eternal, written in heaven where nothing can erase it. As it is written, I have called you by name, you are mine. Isaiah 43 verse 1. You are mine, my child, belonging to me forever. Your name written and spoken in heaven, your belonging sure. Over your purpose I speak this, it is affirmed. Your life is not random or meaningless, but holds a calling, a destiny, a reason for being that was affirmed over your name in heaven. You have a purpose, my child, a good purpose, prepared for you, waiting for you to walk into it. As it is written, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope. Jeremiah 29:11. Your purpose is affirmed, my child, your future and your hope declared over your name in heaven, your life full of meaning. Over your future, I speak this, it is bright. The changes set in motion when your name came up in heaven are coming. The lifting of the heaviness, the restoration of your worth, the movement in your stuck situations, the arrival of the right people, the breaking of old patterns, the provision for your needs. Your future is bright, my child, full of the good that heaven set in motion when it spoke your name. As it is written, for surely there is a future, and your hope will not be cut off. Proverbs 23:18. Surely there is a future, my child, a bright future, set in motion by the speaking of your name in heaven. And over you, my child, the whole of you, I speak this. You are seen, you are known, you are named in heaven, and you are loved beyond measure by the God who made you and spoke your name in the eternal courts today. As it is written, the Lord your God is in your midst, a mighty one who will save. He will rejoice over you with gladness. He will quiet you by his love. He will exult over you with loud singing. Zephaniah 3:17. I rejoice over you with gladness, my child. I quiet you by my love. I exult over you with singing, the one whose name came up in heaven today. My child, let me hold you here in the quiet a little longer, because I am in no hurry to leave you on this night when your name came up in heaven. Feel how the room has grown still around you, how the noise of the day has faded, how everything has settled into the peace of the night. And in that stillness, feel my nearness, closer than the air on your skin, present with you, holding you, the one who spoke your name in heaven, and now holds you as you rest. You are not alone tonight, my child. You have never been alone, not even in the deepest season of feeling invisible, and you are not alone now. As it is written, behold, I am with you always, to the end of the age. Matthew 28:20. I am with you, my child, always, the one who sees you, knows you, named you in heaven, and will never leave you. Let that presence hold you now, like arms around you, like a warmth wrapping over you, like the safety of a child held by a parent who loves them beyond all measure. You can let go completely in those arms, my child. Release the last of the holding on, the last of the striving to prove your worth, because you are held now by the one who already declared your worth in heaven, and you do not have to prove anything to the one who already treasures you. Sink into it. Let yourself be held. Let the long exhaustion of trying to matter finally, fully rest in the arms of the one who already declared that you matter, whose courts spoke your name today. As it is written, underneath are the everlasting arms. Deuteronomy 33:27. Underneath you, my child, are the everlasting arms, holding the one whose name came up in heaven, keeping you safe as you rest. My child, before I lead you into the deepest rest, I want to help you lay down, one by one, the things you carried into this night, so that you sleep unburdened on the night your name came up in heaven. Lay down first the weight of feeling invisible, the long, heavy belief that no one saw you, that you moved through the world unnoticed and unmarked. Lay it down, my child. You are seen, named in heaven, and the weight of invisibility has no place on you anymore. As it is written, you are the God who sees me. Genesis 16 verse 10. Let the invisibility go, my child, and feel how much lighter you are without it. Lay down next the weight of feeling forgotten. The ache of believing your prayers disappeared, and your tears went unwitnessed, and no one remembered you were still holding on. Lay it down, my child. Heaven remembered every tear, kept count of every prayer, and the weight of being forgotten has no place on you anymore. As it is written, you have kept count of my tossings, put my tears in your bottle. Psalm 56 verse 8. Let the feeling of being forgotten go, my child, and receive the truth that you were remembered all along. Lay down the weight of feeling worthless, the diminished sense of your value that you carried for so long. Lay it down, my child. You are precious, honored and loved, declared so over your name in heaven, and the weight of worthlessness has no place on you anymore. As it is written, you are precious in my eyes, and honored, and I love you. Isaiah 43 4. Let the worthlessness go, my child, and receive the truth of your preciousness, and lay down, finally, the weight of feeling alone, the belief that you faced your life by yourself, with no one engaged on your behalf. Lay it down, my child. Heaven is engaged on your behalf, its servants attentive to you, its purposes moving for you, and the weight of feeling alone has no place on you anymore. As it is written, I will never leave you, nor forsake you. Hebrews 13:5. Let the feeling of being alone go, my child, and receive the truth that heaven is with you, engaged on your behalf, never leaving you. You are unburdened now, my child. The invisibility, the feeling of being forgotten, the worthlessness, the loneliness, all laid down, all handed to me, all released into the keeping of the one who spoke your name in heaven. Rest now in the lightness of being fully unburdened on the night your name came up in heaven. Type in the comments right now, I lay down the old weights, as the declaration of a soul that hands God the invisibility, the feeling of being forgotten, the worthlessness, and the loneliness, resting unburdened on the night its name came up in heaven. I lay down the old weights. My child, I want you to receive a peace now that is deeper than any peace your circumstances could give you. The peace that comes not from everything being already visibly changed, because the changes are still appearing, but from the certainty that your name came up in heaven, and the one who spoke it is faithful to bring all that he declared to pass. Let that peace settle over you now, like a warm covering on a cold night, like the stillness that falls over the earth in the deepest part of the night. As it is written, and the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Philippians 4:7. This is a peace that does not depend on seeing the full appearing yet, my child. A peace that rests on the faithfulness of the God who spoke your name, and it is yours tonight, guarding your heart as you rest. Let the peace deepen with each breath, reaching the places in you that have not known peace in the long season of feeling invisible, stilling the anxious places until your whole being rests in the calm certainty of a soul whose name came up in heaven. Let the peace carry you now, my child, toward the sweet sleep of a soul that has been seen and named in heaven. You do not have to stay awake tonight to make the changes happen, because heaven is bringing them. You do not have to keep watch over your own transformation, because heaven is working it. You do not have to do anything tonight, but rest in the peace of a soul that knows its name came up in heaven and trusts the one who spoke it. As it is written, he grants sleep to those he loves. Psalm 127:2. Receive the sleep I am granting you now, my child, the gift of rest to the one I love, the one whose name came up in heaven today. Type in the comments right now, I receive this deep peace, as the declaration of a soul that receives the peace of God that surpasses understanding, resting on God's faithfulness to bring to pass all he declared over its name. I receive this deep peace. My child, I want you to feel the comfort of being completely known and completely safe at the same time, because this is a comfort you have rarely allowed yourself. Through the long season of feeling invisible, you may have believed that to be truly known was dangerous, that if anyone saw all of you, they would find you wanting. But I know you completely, my child, every part of you, every fear, every failure, every hidden hope, and knowing all of it. I spoke your name in heaven with love, declared your worth, set your transformation in motion, as it is written, O Lord, you have searched me and known me. Psalm 139 verse 1. You are completely known by me, my child, and completely loved at the same time. Your name spoken in heaven, not in spite of being known, but in the full knowledge of all you are. That is the deepest comfort a soul can know, to be fully known and fully loved at once. And it is yours tonight, on the night your name came up in heaven. And let yourself feel, my child, how you were never as invisible as you felt. Through every season of feeling unseen, the eyes of heaven were on you, watching, attending, treasuring, preparing the day your name would come up in the eternal courts. The invisibility was a feeling, not a fact, and the fact was that you were seen all along, watched over by the one who made you, known by the one who treasures you. As it is written, the eyes of the Lord are in every place, keeping watch on the evil and the good. Proverbs 15:4. The eyes of heaven were on you all along, my child, keeping watch, seeing you when you felt most invisible, treasuring you when you felt most overlooked. You were never invisible, you were always seen. And tonight, the seeing that was always on you expressed itself in the speaking of your name in heaven. Let that truth hold you as you rest. Let your body grow heavier now, my child, sinking deeper into rest with each breath, each exhale releasing more of the old invisibility, each inhale receiving more of the truth that you are seen and named in heaven. There is nothing left to do tonight but rest. Your name came up in heaven. The truths were spoken over you. The changes are in motion, and you are free to sink into the deepest sleep you have known in a long time, the restful sleep of a soul that has been seen and named in heaven, and now rests in the certainty of all that was spoken. As it is written, I lay down and slept. I woke again, for the Lord sustained me. Psalm 3:5. I will sustain you through the night, my child, holding the one whose name came up in heaven, keeping you as you rest. Type in the comments right now, I was never invisible, as the declaration of a soul that receives the truth that the eyes of heaven were on it all along, that it was seen even when it felt most invisible, named in heaven today. I was never invisible. My child, I want to give you a picture to carry into your sleep, a picture of what happened in heaven when your name came up. Imagine a vast and glorious hall, filled with light, where the eternal things are spoken and decided, where the presence of the one who made all things fills every corner with glory. And imagine, in that hall, in the midst of all the glory and all the eternal matters being attended to, a moment when everything turns toward a single thing, when the attention of heaven focuses, when a name is spoken with delight and love and intention. That name, my child, was yours. In the midst of all the glory of heaven, your name was spoken, attended to, treasured, the focus of the eternal courts turning toward you, the ordinary soul who felt so invisible. As it is written, what is man that you are mindful of him, and the Son of Man that you care for him? Psalm 8:4. Yet you are mindful of me, my child, your attention turning toward my name in the glorious halls of heaven, caring for me, treasuring me, speaking my name with love. Hold that picture, my child, as you drift towards sleep, the picture of your name spoken in the glorious halls of heaven, attended to with love, the focus of the eternal courts turning toward you. It is a picture truer than your circumstances, truer than your feelings, truer than the long invisibility, the picture of a soul whose name came up in heaven, as it is written, how precious to me are your thoughts, O God, how vast is the sum of them. Psalm 139 verse 17. My thoughts toward you are precious and vast, my child, more than you can number, and today they express themselves in the speaking of your name in heaven. Let that picture hold you, the picture of being treasured in the glorious halls of the eternal, your name spoken with love. Type in the comments right now, my name was spoken in glory, as the declaration of a soul that holds the picture of its name spoken in the glorious halls of heaven, the focus of the eternal courts turning toward it with love. My name was spoken in glory. My child, I want to add more blessings over you now, more declarations to sink deep into you as you rest, so that they work in you through all the hours of your sleep. Over your prayers, I speak this. They were heard. Every prayer you prayed in the long season, every cry you sent up believing it disappeared, reached heaven, was gathered, was heard, and contributed to the day your name came up in the eternal courts. As it is written, the prayers of the saints rose before God. Revelation 8:4. Your prayers rose, my child, every one of them heard in heaven, not lost in the empty air. Your praying was never in vain. Over your tears, I speak this. They were collected. Every tear you cried in the long season of feeling invisible was seen, kept, collected by the one who treasures even your sorrow. As it is written, you have kept count of my tossings, put my tears in your bottle. Are they not in your book? Psalm 56:8. Your tears are in my book, my child, collected and kept, every one of them treasured. You did not cry alone, and your tears were not unseen. Over your faithfulness I speak this. It was rewarded. The quiet faithfulness of your ordinary life, the goodness no one witnessed, the holding on no one celebrated, was seen in heaven, treasured in heaven, and contributed to the speaking of your name in the eternal courts. As it is written, well done, good and faithful servant. Matthew 25:21. Well done, my child, for the faithfulness the world overlooked but heaven treasured, the quiet goodness that brought your name up in heaven. Your faithfulness was seen and rewarded. Over your longing I speak this. It was answered. The deep longing of your heart to matter, to be seen, to know your life had significance, was answered today when your name came up in heaven, the satisfaction of a hunger you carried for so long. As it is written, he satisfies the longing soul, and the hungry soul he fills with good things. Psalm 7:9. Your longing soul is satisfied, my child. Your hunger filled, your deep need to matter answered by the truth that your name came up in heaven. Your longing was not foolish, it was answered, and over your whole life, my child, I speak this final blessing. It is treasured. Not one part of it is overlooked, not one moment unseen, not one season forgotten, because your whole life is treasured by the one who made you and spoke your name in heaven. As it is written, precious in the sight of the Lord is the death of his saints. Psalm 116:15. Precious, my child, is everything about you to me. Your whole life treasured, your name spoken in heaven, your existence cherished beyond your understanding. Your life is treasured, all of it, by the God who named you in heaven today. Type in the comments right now, my whole life is treasured, as the declaration of a soul that receives the blessing that its prayers were heard, its tears collected, its faithfulness rewarded, its longing answered, and its whole life treasured by heaven. My whole life is treasured, my child. Let me hold you in the deepest rest now, as sleep draws near. Let your mind grow quiet, the racing thoughts settling like sediment to the bottom of still water, until your mind is calm and clear and at peace. You do not have to think tonight. You do not have to figure out how the changes will come, or how to make yourself matter, or how to be seen, because your name already came up in heaven and the matter is settled. You are seen, you are known, you are named, and you are free to set down even the thinking, even the striving, and simply rest. As it is written, you keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on you, because he trusts in you. Isaiah 26:3. Let your mind be stayed on me now, my child, trusting, resting, at peace, and let the perfect peace I give carry you down into sleep. My child, I want to speak peace into every part of you now, slowly, completely, so that no corner of you is left in the old tension of feeling invisible. Peace to your mind, which carried the anxious thoughts of one who believed they did not matter. Let your mind be at peace now, my child, quiet and still, resting in the truth that your name came up in heaven. As it is written, you will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you. Isaiah 26:3. Peace to your heart, which carried the ache of feeling unseen for so long. Let your heart be at peace now, my child, comforted, soothed, the ache of invisibility healed by the truth that you are seen in heaven. As it is written, let not your hearts be troubled. John 14:27. Peace to your body, which carried the weight of the long season in its frame. Let your body be at peace now, my child, every muscle released, resting fully in the safety of the one who named you in heaven. And peace to your spirit, the deepest part of you, which longed so long to matter. Let your spirit be at peace now, my child, satisfied, at rest, knowing its name came up in heaven. As it is written, the Lord gives strength to his people. The Lord blesses his people with peace. Psalm 29:11. I bless you with peace now, my child. Peace in every part of you, mind and heart and body and spirit, on the night your name came up in heaven. Type in the comments right now, peace fills every part of me. As the declaration of a soul that receives God's peace into every part of itself, mind and heart and body and spirit, resting on the night its name came up in heaven. Peace fills every part of me. My child, I want to speak to you about the morning that is coming, the literal morning of tomorrow, because I want you to wake into it differently than you have woken into all the mornings of the long season of feeling invisible. For so long you have woken into the heaviness of feeling overlooked, the dull ache of believing you did not matter, greeting you before you even opened your eyes. But tomorrow, my child, you can wake into a new truth, because your name came up in heaven, and the morning you wake into is the first morning of knowing you are seen and named, rather than another morning of feeling invisible. When you open your eyes tomorrow, remember, before the old feelings can return, that your name came up in heaven, that you are seen, that you are precious, that you matter. As it is written, satisfy us in the morning with your steadfast love, that we may rejoice and be glad all our days. Psalm 90:14. Wake into my steadfast love tomorrow, my child, and rejoice, because you are the one whose name came up in heaven, and there is a deeper morning coming too, my child, beyond the morning of tomorrow. There is the morning of the full appearing of all that was spoken over your name, the day when the changes set in motion have fully appeared, when the heaviness has fully lifted, and your worth is fully established, and your situations have fully shifted, and the right people have arrived, and the old patterns are broken, and your needs are supplied. That morning is coming as surely as tomorrow's sunrise, because heaven is faithful to bring to pass all that it declared. As it is written, he who began a good work in you will bring it to completion. Philippians 1:6. The good work begun when your name came up in heaven will be brought to completion, my child. The full morning of all that was spoken as certain as the dawn. Rest tonight in the certainty of the morning that is coming. So rest, my child, in the certainty of both mornings, the morning of tomorrow and the morning of the full appearing. Let your body be heavy and your mind be quiet and your heart be at peace, because your name came up in heaven and the morning is coming, and you do not have to do anything tonight but rest in the one who named you. As it is written, when you lie down, you will not be afraid. When you lie down, your sleep will be sweet. Proverbs 3:24. Let your sleep be sweet tonight, my child, the sweet sleep of a soul whose name came up in heaven, resting in the certainty of the morning that is coming. Type in the comments right now, I will wake knowing I matter, as the declaration of a soul that will wake into the truth that its name came up in heaven, knowing it is seen and precious rather than invisible. I will wake knowing I matter. My child, I want to hold you in the stillness a little longer, the stillness of the last hour before the dawn, when the whole earth is quiet and waiting for the light. You are in that hour now, the quiet before the full appearing of all that was spoken over your name, the stillness before the changes fully come. And in that stillness, there is nothing to fear and nothing to do, only to rest in the certainty that your name came up in heaven and the one who spoke it is faithful. As it is written, for God alone, O my soul, wait in silence, for my hope is from him. Psalm 62 verse 5. Wait in silence now, my child, in the quiet stillness of the hour before your dawn, your hope resting in the one who named you in heaven, your soul at peace. Let every breath now carry you deeper into that rest, my child. Breathe in the truth that your name came up in heaven. Breathe out the last of the old invisibility. Breathe in the certainty that you are seen and named. Breathe out the final remnants of feeling forgotten. With each breath you settle more fully into the rest of a soul that knows its name came up in heaven and now waits in peace for the full appearing of all that was spoken. As it is written, in quietness and in trust shall be your strength. Isaiah 30 verse 15. Your strength is in this quietness now, my child, this trust, this peaceful resting in the certainty that your name came up in heaven. And as you cross fully now into sleep, my child, let the truth of this night go with you, down into the deep places of your rest, working in you through all the hours of your sleep. You are seen, you are known, you are named in heaven, you are precious, loved, and not alone. And when you wake tomorrow, you will wake as one whose name came up in heaven, no longer invisible, no longer forgotten, no longer believing you do not matter. As it is written, weeping may tarry for the night, but joy comes with the morning. Psalm 30 verse 5. The morning of joy is coming, my child, after the long night of feeling invisible, and you will wake into it as the one whose name came up in heaven. Type in the comments right now, I rest in the truth of my name. As the declaration of a soul that crosses into sleep holding the truth that its name came up in heaven, resting in being seen, known, named, precious, and not alone. I rest in the truth of my name. My child, as you rest here in the deepening quiet, I want to remind you of how far you have come in this single night. You came to me believing the deepest lie a soul can believe, that you do not matter, that you are invisible, that no one sees you or knows you or cares whether you exist. And in the space of this night, that lie has been dismantled, piece by piece, replaced by the most glorious truth that your name came up in heaven, that you are seen and known and treasured and named in the eternal courts. This is not a small change, my child. It is the changing of the foundation on which your whole life rests, from the foundation of feeling worthless to the foundation of knowing you are precious to heaven. As it is written, therefore everyone who hears these words of mine and does them will be like a wise man who built his house on the rock. Matthew 7:24. You have built your house on the rock tonight, my child, on the truth that your name came up in heaven, a foundation that the storms of the old lies can no longer wash away. And I want you to know that this truth will hold, my child, through all the days ahead, because it does not rest on your feelings, which change, or your circumstances, which shift, but on the unchanging fact that your name came up in heaven, spoken by the God who does not change. As it is written, Jesus Christ is the same yesterday and today and forever. Hebrews 13:8. I do not change, my child, and the truth I spoke over your name does not change. And so the foundation you have built tonight will hold through every season, every difficulty, every return of the old lies. You are seen, known, and named in heaven, and that truth is as unchanging as the God who declared it. Rest in its permanence, my child, knowing that what was established tonight will hold forever. Let your soul settle then into the deep security of an unchanging truth, my child. You have lived so long on the shifting sands of feeling invisible, where your sense of worth rose and fell with every circumstance and every word from others. But tonight you have moved onto the rock, the unchanging truth that your name came up in heaven, and on that rock you can rest with a security you have never known. As it is written, He only is my rock and my salvation, my fortress. I shall not be greatly shaken. Psalm 62:6. You shall not be greatly shaken, my child, because you rest now on the rock of an unchanging truth, the truth that your name came up in heaven, secure and permanent forever. Rest in that security as you drift towards sleep. Type in the comments right now, I am built on unchanging truth, as the declaration of a soul that has moved from the shifting sands of feeling invisible onto the rock of the unchanging truth that its name came up in heaven. I am built on unchanging truth. My child, I want to give you one more assurance as you rest, an assurance about the days when this truth feels far away. There will be days, I will not pretend otherwise, when the truth that your name came up in heaven feels distant, when the old feelings of invisibility return with such force that tonight seems like a dream. And on those days, my child, I want you to know that the truth remains true, even when it does not feel true, that your name came up in heaven, whether or not you feel it on any given day, that the reality does not depend on your awareness of it. As it is written, if we are faithless, He remains faithful, for He cannot deny Himself. 2 Timothy 2:13. The truth remains, my child, even when your feeling of it fades, because it rests on my faithfulness, not on your feelings. Your name came up in heaven, and that remains true on the days you feel it and the days you do not. So on the days when the truth feels far, my child, do not despair and do not conclude that tonight was not real. Simply return to the truth, declare it again, remember it again, even when you cannot feel it, trusting that it remains true regardless of your feeling. As it is written, we walk by faith, not by sight. 2 Corinthians 5:10. Walk by faith in the truth that your name came up in heaven, my child, even on the days you cannot feel it, even on the days the old feelings return, knowing that the truth holds whether or not your feelings agree with it. The reality of your name in heaven does not flicker with your moods. It stands firm, true forever, regardless of how any particular day feels. Type in the comments right now, the truth holds even when I cannot feel it. As the declaration of a soul that trusts the truth of its name in heaven remains true regardless of its feelings, returning to it even on the days it feels far. The truth holds even when I cannot feel it. My child, let me speak one final picture over you as you drift towards sleep, a picture to carry into your dreams. Imagine that in heaven there is a book, and in that book are written the names of those who belong to me. And your name is there, written in a hand that never fades, secured in a place that nothing can touch. And imagine that today, your name in that book was not only written, but spoken aloud, lifted up, celebrated, the focus of heaven's attention and love. As it is written, rejoice that your names are written in heaven, Luke 10:20. Your name is written in heaven, my child, and today it was spoken aloud, and you can rest tonight in the security of a name that is both written and spoken in the eternal courts, secure forever, treasured beyond measure. Let that picture carry you into sleep, the picture of your name written in heaven's book and spoken aloud in heaven's courts. Rest now in that picture, my child, the security of your name written and spoken in heaven. You are not a forgotten soul in an indifferent universe. You are a named one, written in heaven's book, spoken aloud in heaven's courts, treasured by the God who made you. As it is written, the Lord knows those who are his. 2 Timothy 2:19. I know you, my child, by name, written in heaven, spoken in heaven, treasured forever. Rest in the security of being known and named by the one who made all things. Let it be the last picture in your mind as sleep takes you, the picture of your name in heaven, written and spoken and treasured forever. Type in the comments right now, my name is written and spoken in heaven, as the declaration of a soul that rests in the security of its name, both written in heaven's book and spoken aloud in heaven's courts, treasured forever. My name is written and spoken in heaven. My child, as the very last of your wakefulness fades and sleep takes you fully, I want to leave you with the simplest truth of all, the one beneath every other truth I have spoken tonight. You are loved. Your name came up in heaven, not because you earned it, not because you finally did enough to be noticed, but because you are loved, simply and completely, by the God who made you. Everything tonight flows from that single, unchanging truth, that you are loved, loved through the long season of feeling invisible, and loved in the truth of your name in heaven, loved completely and forever. As it is written, I have loved you with an everlasting love. Jeremiah 31:3. Rest in that love now, my child, the everlasting love from which the speaking of your name in heaven flows, the love that has held you through every season and will hold you forever. And let that love be the last thing you know as sleep takes you, deeper than the truth of your name in heaven, deeper than everything else I have spoken, the simple bedrock truth that you are loved. Whatever the days ahead bring, you are loved. However long it takes for the changes to appear, you are loved. In the seeing and the naming, in the waiting and the appearing, you are loved, held in a love that will never let you go. As it is written, neither death nor life, nor things present, nor things to come, nor anything else in all creation will be able to separate us from the love of God. Romans 8:38 and 39. Nothing can separate you from my love, my child. Not the long invisibility, not the feeling of being forgotten, not anything. You are loved, completely and forever, and on this love your name came up in heaven today. Sleep now in that love. Type in the comments right now, I am loved, and my name came up in heaven. As the final declaration of a soul that rests in the everlasting love of God, knowing its name came up in heaven and flows from a love that will never let it go. I am loved, and my name came up in heaven. My child, let me hold you in the gentlest stillness now, and speak over you a quiet benediction for the night, words to settle into the deepest places as you sleep. May you rest tonight knowing you are seen, no longer carrying the weight of feeling invisible, but resting in the truth that the eyes of heaven are upon you with love. As it is written, the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Numbers 6:24-26. May his face shine upon you tonight, my child, the face of the one who spoke your name in heaven, shining upon you with grace and peace as you sleep. May you rest tonight knowing you are held, no longer facing your life alone, but resting in the everlasting arms of the one who treasures you. May the peace of being named in heaven guard your heart through the night, and may you wake in the morning to the fresh mercy of a God who sees you and knows you and named you in the eternal courts. As it is written, the steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. Lamentations 3:22 and 23. New mercies will meet you in the morning, my child. The mercies of the one whose faithfulness is great, who spoke your name in heaven and will be faithful to all he declared. Rest in the certainty of his faithfulness through the night and into the morning. And may you carry into your dreams the truth that has changed everything tonight. The truth that you matter, that you are seen, that your name came up in heaven. Let it be woven into the deepest places of your rest, working in you through every hour of your sleep, so that you wake tomorrow, not as the invisible one you believed yourself to be, but as the named and treasured one heaven declared you to be. As it is written, I will both lie down in peace and sleep, for thou, Lord, only makest me dwell in safety. Psalm 4:8. Lie down in peace now, my child, and sleep, dwelling in the safety of the one who named you in heaven, resting in the truth that has changed everything. Type in the comments right now, I rest in his blessing tonight, as the declaration of a soul that receives the benediction of God over its night, resting in being seen, held and named in heaven, carrying the truth into its dreams. I rest in his blessing tonight. My child, I want you to know, as the final truth of this night, that this was not an ordinary message, and this was not an ordinary night. Tonight your name came up in heaven, and you received the truth of it, and that reception has changed something in you that will not be undone. You will look back on this night, in the days and seasons ahead, as the night you learnt you were seen, the night the lie of your invisibility was broken, the night you discovered that your name is known and treasured and spoken in the eternal courts. As it is written, this is the day that the Lord has made, let us rejoice and be glad in it. Psalm 118 verse 24. This is the day your name came up in heaven, my child. And this is the night you learned it, a turning point in your story, a night you will remember as the beginning of seeing yourself the way heaven sees you. Carry it with you, let it change everything, and carry with you, my child, the certainty that everything spoken over your name in heaven will come to pass, because the one who spoke it is faithful. The truths of your belonging and worth and purpose, the changes set in motion, the bright future declared, all of it is certain, guaranteed by the faithfulness of the God who named you. As it is written, he who promised is faithful. Hebrews 10:23. I am faithful, my child, faithful to bring to pass all that I spoke over your name in heaven, faithful through all the days ahead, faithful to complete what I have begun. Rest tonight in my faithfulness, and wake tomorrow to walk into all that I have declared, the named and treasured child whose name came up in heaven today. Sleep now, my beloved child, in the deepest peace, held in everlasting arms, treasured beyond measure, your name spoken in heaven, seen and known and loved forever. My child, before you sleep, do one last thing. Type in the comments the words, my name came up in heaven today. Say it as a declaration over your own life. The truth that on this day, in the eternal courts, your name was spoken, that you are seen and known and treasured by heaven. My name came up in heaven today. Say it for yourself as a marker of the truth you received tonight. And say it for the person reading alongside you, the one who also feels invisible, who also believes they do not matter, who needs to know that their name too can come up in heaven. My name came up in heaven today. And if this message reached you tonight, my child, if it lifted you from the darkness of feeling invisible into the light of knowing your name came up in heaven, then share it with someone, the name that just came to your mind, the person you know who feels overlooked, forgotten, as though they do not matter, who needs to hear that heaven sees them and knows them and can speak their name too. Send this to them, let it reach them the way it reached you. Let me lift them the way I lifted you tonight, with the truth that their name too can come up in heaven. As it is written, therefore encourage one another and build one another up. 1 Thessalonians 5:11. Encourage someone tonight, my child, by sharing this with them, lifting them with the truth that heaven sees them and knows their name. Share it and let them know that they matter too. I love you, my child. I have loved you through every season of feeling invisible, watching over you when you felt unseen, treasuring you when you felt forgotten. And I love you now, on the day your name came up in heaven, and I will love you in all the days ahead. I spoke your name in heaven today because I love you, because you matter to me more than you know, because you are precious, honored, and treasured by the God who made you. As it is written, you are precious in my eyes, and honored, and I love you. Isaiah 43:4. Precious, my child, honored, loved, and named in heaven today. Sleep now, my beloved child, held in everlasting arms, treasured by everlasting love, your name written and spoken in heaven, seen and known and never forgotten, now and forevermore. My child, as these final words reach you, let them be the resting place of your soul tonight. You were never invisible. You were always seen. Through every season you thought no one was watching. The eyes of heaven were upon you with love, and today, in the eternal courts, your name was spoken. This is the truth that holds when every other thing shifts. The truth that you are seen and known and named by the God who made you and treasures you beyond your understanding. As it is written, you are the God who sees me. Genesis 16:13. You have been seen all along, my child, and now you know it, and that knowing changes everything about who you are and how you will live. Rest now in the deepest peace, my child, the peace of a soul that has finally learned the truth of its worth, that has been lifted from the long darkness of feeling invisible into the marvelous light of being named in heaven. Let your body rest, your mind quiet, your heart at peace, your spirit settled into the truth that you matter, that you are seen, that your name came up in heaven today. As it is written, I will lie down and sleep in peace, for you alone, O Lord, make me dwell in safety. Psalm 4:8. Sleep in peace now, my child, dwelling in the safety of the one who named you in heaven, resting in the truth that has changed everything tonight. And as you sleep, my child, let heaven keep watch over you, the angels attentive to you, the love of the one who named you surrounding you, the peace of being seen and known guarding your heart through every hour of the night. You are not alone tonight, and you never will be again, because your name came up in heaven, and the one who spoke it never leaves the ones he names. As it is written, he who keeps you will not slumber. Behold, he who keeps Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. Psalm 121:4. I will keep watch over you tonight, my child, never slumbering, never sleeping, holding the one whose name came up in heaven, keeping you safe until the morning. Rest now in my keeping. And hear this, my child, as the final whisper over your rest. The God of all the universe, who holds the stars in their places and the oceans in his hand, who needs nothing and lacks nothing, chose today to speak your name. Of all the things heaven could attend to, it attended to you. Of all the names that could be spoken in the eternal courts, yours was spoken, with love, with delight, with intention. That is how much you matter, my child. That is how seen you are. That is how treasured. Let it be the truth you sleep on tonight, the truth that the Maker of all things spoke your name in heaven today, because you matter to him beyond anything you have ever allowed yourself to believe. As it is written, how precious to me are your thoughts, O God, how vast is the sum of them. If I would count them, they are more than the sand. Psalm 139 verse 18. My thoughts toward you are more than the sand of the sea, my child, and today they gathered into the speaking of your name in heaven. Rest in being thought of, treasured, named by the God of all. Sleep now, my beloved child. Your name came up in heaven today, and you are seen, known, treasured, and loved forever. Your name came up in heaven today, my child. Do not miss it. You matter more than you will ever know, and you are loved beyond all measure. Rest now, my child, in the truth that will hold you through every season to come. You are seen, you are known, you are named in heaven, and you are loved with an everlasting love that will never ever let you go. As it is written, I have loved you with an everlasting love. Therefore I have continued my faithfulness to you. Jeremiah 31 verse 3. Sleep in that everlasting love now, my beloved child, the love that spoke your name in heaven today, the love that holds you tonight, the love that will be with you in every day of the life ahead. Your name came up in heaven, and nothing will ever be the same.